I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole, the old familiar sting. Try to kill it all away, but I remember everything. I hurt myself today.
What's up, Bandidos? And we're live. It's Thursday, September 22nd, 2:45 in the PM, hailing from the Pacific Northwest. And Tux is excited to bring you a new build lab today, featuring the all-new Busy Bee exotic pistol, which I finally got yesterday. So it's brand new to me. I haven't really used it. I used it for like 5 minutes yesterday and decided to set it aside so that it can get its own build lab. And that's what we're going to be focusing on today. So if you're with me, let's bounce.
You can tell by the way I use my walk.
Freak out, yo! Watch this.
And we're live. What's going on, Bandidos? And we got a good one today. We're going to be focusing on the Busy Bee. I hope you're excited about this. Do you have it yet? I do have a poll out there for you guys to mark your vote. Let me know if you got this thing because it's apparently going to be a pretty good weapon. I know that the community has really been enjoying it for those that kind of got their hands on it early. Also from the PTS, it looks like it was pretty good. And this is one of the few weapons I think that came out as intended for the most part. Like it's working for the most part as it's supposed to. Now, I know it's doing a little bit more than it's supposed to, but I guess that's okay for the time being, right? But welcome, Sip Jim, Grumpy AG from Scotland. What up, brother? Rico in the house. I'm glad I caught you, Rico. What's up, Professor Beam? So, yeah, and real quick, so this is the build we kind of worked on last night, and I haven't put it to the test, but so this hasn't been tested. This is still in theory mode, but after we kind of get through the Busy Bee, I would like to put this to the test. So if there's anybody that wants to roll some legendary, because this is a legendary build, it's intended to buff your team in so many ways. It looks simple, okay? It looks simple, but the reality is this is a major team buff. As you can see, I'm running almost 2 million in armor, and I got Vanguard on my chest, so I'm gonna be giving the team close to 1 million in armor. I think it's like 800,000 or something like that, but up to 1 million in armor. And I haven't put on the right backpack, but we're gonna be also giving them 40% amp damage. 40%. It's crazy, right? So we're gonna be running perfect opportunistic, and then we're also gonna be running this gear set, which is gonna give them special ammo. And then I'm gonna be running the Scorpio with the lefty and the fire grenade to give them 40% damage to armor and an additional 20% damage to targets. And then an additional 10% damage to status affected targets. So think about all of that. Think about all that. 40% amp damage, 40% is additional damage to armor, 20% additional damage, an additional 10% damage. That's crazy. On top of the 40% amp, on top of the bonus armor we're gonna be giving them, right? And so, but what's really cool about this tank build, and this is not the focus of this stream today, but I just want to introduce this because I want to try to sneak this in at the end of the stream. But what's really interesting about this is that it's a tank build, but aren't you kind of tired of seeing these tank builds where they're just kind of walking around with a pistol and a bulwark shield and they're not really killing anybody? And if they are, it's taking like an hour to kill like one guy. And so I think that, you know, that's kind of nice, but there's three things I guess a tank does really well, right? Like one, it attracts bullets so that they're not aiming at you, so to speak, right? The problem with Legendary and these big open spaces like Tidal Basin and the zoo is that the enemies are coming from multiple directions and the tank can't be at all places at all times. So he's sort of useless as a bullet sponge for the most part. In some parts it's kind of nice, but it's really not necessary. It's just really not. And so for him to be out there with this pistol and just trying to attract bullets, because his bullets coming from all sorts of angles, snipers coming from deep that are still shooting at you and not the tank, blah blah blah. So the tank and his little pistol, his little pistol and his bulwark shield is only so helpful. So what you really need the tank to do is like pick you up when you're down, right? So if you go down, you want the tank to come pick you up. So you just need a shield strong enough for that. And so this is a tier 6 shield. And so it's about 5 million in health. So it's not the strongest shield in the world, but I can still shoot with it. I can still put on the bulwark if I wanted to. I can. But if an enemy comes in to flank us, right? Comes into our camp and tries to flank us like a rusher, I want to be able to shoot them not with my little pistol and take an hour. I want to be able to shoot them with my Scorpio. And so I'm using this shield, and by shooting them with my Scorpio, I'm going to give you perfect opportunistic, which I don't have here at the moment, and then an additional and get you more amplified damage from the hollow points. Well, because he's going to die under status effects, right? So I really want to be using the shotgun. So what I'm trying to say is that what's really cool about this build is that it's not just a tank that's giving you armor and crazy amounts of damage bonus, but it's also doing damage itself. So this tank is in the trenches with you, shooting also. And so that's better than the tank that just goes out there with this little, D50, it's little Liberty. Because those guys that tank build just doesn't do enough damage. You know what I mean? So the only reason why he's using his Liberty is to keep the shield strong, right? So I think this is better. I think this is a way better tank concept. It's more versatile and it's more about buffing the team. And the million bonus armor is that alone is, I think, a huge team buff. And then to give them 40% amplified damage, 40% damage to armored, and an additional 30% damage to targets is crazy. It's crazy, right? So this is gonna be really fun. I can't wait to test it with you guys. So we're gonna go into that. So yeah, that's what I said, Sick Jim. This is gonna be perfect opportunistic, right? How does opportunistic work? So opportunistic works by all you got to do is shoot them with your shotgun, and as you can see, we're running the Scorpio, right? And so I just had to move this from my other character, and so I haven't equipped it yet. But let me show you how opportunistic works. Where'd it go? I just moved it in here. There we go. So it's called the setup. So this is the backpack that you want. The one here was just a temporary holding spot because we built this last night. I didn't have that backpack on my character. So let's put it in and then I'll show you how it works. There you go. And then let's look at our crits. What do we need? Crit chance or crit damage? Crit chance. Okay. Cool. So here's the build with the right backpack. So all you got to do is shoot your targets. Now, enemies you hit take 15% more damage. I'm sorry, did I say 20? I meant 15. So that's right, because the non-perfect is 10. So enemies you hit take 15% more damage from all sources, right? For 5 seconds. So that means you're like not just from you, but also from your allies or skills, right? And then when you shoot them, continue to shoot them with the shotgun, they're gonna get disorientated and shocked, right? And so that's considered a status effect. And so actually, I can show you in the testing range. I'll show you in the testing range. It's a little easier. Let's put on an elite. Doesn't have to be invulnerable. You'll see a mark. You'll see a mark on his head. It's pretty cool. It's pretty obvious. And so you're kind of designating a target for your allies. So you see that little raccoon there? But see, so I applied a status effect, and so now you see the ongoing directive mark there too. So when that enemy dies with that status effect mark, now I got special ammo, but so does your team. Your team's half their mag is gonna fill up. So now everybody's got special ammo. So not only are they getting the 20% amp damage, they're also getting the 15 from the backpack. So the enemy's taking 35% amp damage and more if I put in more shots into him. And so he's also getting 10% more damage while he's under that status effect, which right now is bleed and disorient and all that stuff. So you're gonna be marking the shit out of these guys. I mean, they're gonna get smashed, you know. And then apparently this isn't technically a bug, but if you switch over to the lefty now, right? I can mark him still, so he's got the opportunistic. Then I can hawk this grenade. So now he's got the targets are going to get 10% more status effect. They're also going to get the damage to armor. You can switch back to the Scorpio. See, the sledgehammer's still there. So think about that, right? 40% damage to armor, right? So that's insane. So lots of team buffs. And then of course one of the favorites is the Vanguard. So when I pop my shield, my team is going to get 45% of your armor. So I decided not to go perfect Vanguard. You can run perfect Vanguard. I have that, but I didn't think it was worth it, you know. And so you give your team an extra 5% of your bonus armor, but you know, it's not that significant of an amount, and the cooldown's every 25 seconds anyways. So every 25 seconds I'm going to be giving him, you know, the reality is around 800,000 on armor. And so it wasn't really worth it for me to lose my weapon damage for an extra 5% of my bonus armor going to the team. So you know, 5% of my armor going to the team as bonus armor. So it just really wasn't worth it. Not when I'm giving it to him every 25 seconds. So instead I decided to go with the non-perfect Vanguard because I want to, again, be dishing damage. So you're going to be right by my side in the trenches, and we're going to be capping fools. So this is going to be an amazing legendary tank build that also delivers damage and buffs the team in major ways. I mean, look at all of those fucking things right there. I mean, that's crazy, right? That's crazy. And there's some buffs that don't show up as marks. Remember that. So there's an additional 20% coming from the Scorpio and an additional 10% coming from Survivalist because he's under status affected targets. And that doesn't show up here, right? And I need my allies. It affects the allies there. So these elites. So the idea, I think, is, you know, just to take one heavy elite at a time, focus fire as you should be as a team, and just smash these guys. I mean, an elite is going to be nothing. So this build is running 60% crit chance, 100% crit damage. So 12% damage to armor, no damage to health. So pretty good. And then it's going to get itself 20% amp damage, and then it's got another 15% amp damage on the backpack. So it's also getting those buffs, right? So everybody's buff happy. The only thing I'm not getting is the bonus armor. So I'm not getting any bonus armor, but I'm cool with that. So, oh yeah, good point. I'll get special ammo for the mission now. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside, but later, I needed to save that backpack anyways, so. But later, if anybody is down to do some legendary, I'd love to test this on one of the new legendaries if we could. I want to see how well, and try to figure out the weaknesses and to kind of perfect it, if there is any. So, okay, so setting that aside, I'm just going to put on a random weapon. Cool, so now let's get back into the topic of the day, which is going to be Busy Little Bee. Haha, let's take a look at this guy. It's actually kind of cool looking. I like the look of it. So mods. So we get, let's go to the bottom here. So plus 10 reload speed, crit chance, stability. So has anybody tried this yet with negotiators? I got a special negotiators build in mind. I think this is going to work really well with it. And so not a typical negotiators though. I think we're going to make some slight adjustments, but I'm sorry. Let's look at the talent. So Busy Little Bee, each shot to a different target will give 1 stack up to 10, right? Each stack will give 20% weapon damage increase. Stacks will activate once you switch weapons. So, hey, Sick, have you tried this with negotiators? What do you think about it? And so I'm curious because, you know, we got to mark targets anyways, and that's what this is doing, is marking targets, right? So I figure if we could swap to the pistol when we need to mark new targets every now and again, every 10 seconds basically, right? Now for the other weapon, you're not going to believe what I'm going to recommend. I know. Bear with me. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to start here, okay? Is the where is it? Is it there? So I'm thinking about starting with the M1A. One is because it's got a really cool new skin. Look at that fucking thing. Isn't that beautiful? That's the new skin you get off the rewards track for it. That's cool looking. Oh, look at that skull. That's a mean looking skull. Yeah. I like that skin. So that's the main reason why we're using it, is because it's got a cool skin on it. No, just kidding. No, so this is why. It's going to be a play from cover build, right? You're going to get it back here when you do negotiators, and you got to mark 5 targets. That's a good thing and a bad thing, right? Like, the reality in this game is, oops, I didn't mean to do that. The reality in this game is we want to mark, we want to focus fire on a single enemy. We don't want to spread our damage across 3 or 4 enemies or even 5 enemies. That's counterproductive, but you have to with negotiators. So while we're at it, we might as well pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to count this as 5 here in a second. That's 100% more damage, right? So we might as well try to pick up 100% more damage. You see where I'm going with this? And then we switch to our M1A, one of the strongest weapons ever, and then we get that additional 100% damage, now times 5. Now I'm not running negotiators yet, but it'd be times 5, and we get it for 10 seconds. So now we can focus fire, and everybody, when I have negotiators, everybody will die at the same time with one of the hardest hitting weapons in the game. And so one of the reasons why I'm choosing the Baker's Dozen is because in that 10 seconds, you want to make the most of that 10 seconds ever, right? Like, you really want to make the most of that 10 seconds. So one, you don't want to be missing shots, right? And so if you do, you don't want to be stuck in a bunch of reloads. So perfect lucky shots as the magazine capacity is increased by 30%. Missed shots from cover give you a 100% chance to return to the mag. So that means every shot, every bullet is technically going to count, right? Every bullet's going to count. If I miss, it comes back until I land a shot. And so that means I'm like, every bullet is going to get that 100% buff, right? Technically, because it's all the misses are going to come back until I land a target. So you still don't want to miss. Of course, you want to land your shots, but it allows you to spam your target. Also, rifles have range. And so if you focus on like SMGs and shotguns for this, which do work, I'm not saying you can't do that, which do work. It's just that if your targets like in Legendary start backing up on you and you're using a shotgun and an SMG, then you're getting 100% weapon damage, but they're at such deep ranges, you're not really getting the most of it, right? Like trying to get the kill like out with the shotgun while having Busy Bee is not very fun, right? So you're not getting shit. So, but with the M1A, if your target is deep, or if your only targets are deep, the only ones standing are deep, because you'll be running with allies, they might kill your targets, right? So then at least you can have the reach with a rifle and go for a deep guy and still apply that 100% damage without much of a loss, right? Without optimal range degrading on you. So that's the other reason why I'm thinking about it. I'm also thinking this is going to be suitable for Legendary. So that's kind of why I'm thinking about that weapon combo. Now from here, I'm thinking negotiators, right? So let's go ahead and put something together. What up, Roberto? AG, I don't know if I understand your question. It says, Tex, what do you think about the Manhunt gun reward is about in the green juice? I don't see any green juice. Let me see here. You mean the canister? I think the canister is healing. I see what you're saying now. So yeah. I mean, it sucks that the M1A is locked there. Like, we're all going to get the M1A at the same time, basically, the same couple of days. That sucks. The doctor home. But yeah, I think first of all, I don't like the look of it. It looks like a Nerf squirt gun or something like that, doesn't it? Doesn't it look like a squirt gun? Some sort. But either way, it's red and white. And so if you think about what does red and white mean, what do you think of? I think of like the Swiss flag, that's for sure. But also the Swiss Army knife. And if I'm not thinking about that, I'm thinking about the Red Cross, right? You know what the Red Cross is? They're a humanitarian organization, right? That brings aid to people that need it. So I think that's what the look is. The red and white is about, the Red Cross. So I'm thinking healer, medic, right? healer medic, so I think the green juice is a healing juice. That's what I think. My guess is. And that's what it drops is healing capabilities, armor on kill, basically, in a trophy. But yeah, it looks like a toy. Looks like a toy. They could tone it down a little bit. So, yeah, I got 2 busy bee builds in mind. Good one, Grumpy. Yeah, as a main weapon, it doesn't make sense. You have to swap, right? And you got to do it a lot. And so, you know, we'll see, right? We haven't used this at all. I use it for a few seconds. So let's start equipping our build, but I need to pull some things over, apparently. I was playing with those bloody knuckles if you were on the stream last night, and boy, oh boy, that's a challenge. Those bloody knuckles are a challenge, guys. It's basically my first impressions on it after spending several hours with it is that, I mean, we came up with the build that makes a lot of sense, right? And it was still like, wow, wait a second, you know? Basically, the gloves give you crit chance and crit damage as its stats, and then the talent is going to give you 25% amp damage, right? 25% regular damage. I'm sorry, 25% regular damage. So that sounds great, except the backpack, the Memento backpack, plays in that distance also and gives you more. Okay, well, if you're tired of the backpack, fine. Then the Coyotes also gives you crit chance and crit damage, and it gives you an additional 25% crit damage buff. So which would you rather have, the 25% weapon damage or the 25% that you have to melee to get and then melee again? You know, and that will probably get you killed because when you melee them, they melee you back. That's what kept happening, right? So would you rather have that or just a Coyote where all you have to do is get shoot and you get 25% weapon damage? You know what I mean? And that's it, just for being in the right distance. I'm sorry, the Coyote gives you 25% crit damage. I'm sorry, saying it all wrong. But you get my point, right? So that means, you know, like, wow. So you have to, whatever the build is got to have a glove and a mask that is more attractive than the Coyote and the Memento so that you can run your exotic. Then that's like, okay, well, might as well run the exotic gloves. That's the position it puts you in. And then from there, it comes down to, well, shit, though. Yeah, I got to have a best in slot holster, chest, and knee pads, because otherwise, you know, if you're gonna run the Sawyer's knee pads are better. Sawyer's knee pads, you don't have to melee anybody. You just have to stand still. You see what I'm saying? And that melee is dangerous. It doesn't say amplified damage. Is it supposed to be amplified damage, grumpy old man? Big J, yeah, it is, huh? It doesn't say amplified damage, huh? Yeah, we didn't test the damage comparison yet. We were just trying to get it to work, and that was hard. It says just grants 25% weapon damage and 100% to melee damage. It is, huh? To toss a grenade to test it. Okay, so I was just making some room here. Let me make a little bit more, but actually so that we can pull in more pieces. Just let me drop some gloves. I do think the pistol is actually okay on its own right when it comes to damage and RPMs, but it wouldn't be my go-to as a primary. I would probably want to, you know, go to my usuals. Any of the mostly the revolvers and then the D50. Overclock is a challenge too. To work. We tried that yesterday also. And I mean, it's not the worst thing. It's just that the reality of the way people gameplay, they move, and you know, the person that's running that's usually a tank or a medic. Doesn't have to be, but in most cases. Okay, we're full. Good. All right, so Jam Cam's in the house. All right. So let's see here. So we want the Negotiator's chest. So I got that on already. No, I don't. Okay, so let's bring it. So the Negotiator's chest. Let me show you why it starts with the Negotiator's chest. All right, so we have. So this is how the Negotiator works. It's crit chance and crit damage. Well, that's gonna work with this, right? Crit chance, crit damage. This has got damage targets out of cover. It doesn't matter. So that's good. So the other thing is Negotiator's chest is crit chance, crit damage, and then hostile negotiation. So critical hits mark enemies for 20 seconds, up to 3 marks. Okay, so 3 marked enemies there. And then when you critically hit a marked enemy, so you need crits, all the other marked enemies takes 60% of that damage. And then when you get when those marked enemies die, you get more crit hit damage, up to 20 kills, which is 40% crit damage. Now the chest, this is what's unique. Okay, increased hostile negotiations marks count from 3 to 5. And so that's going to help us kind of get more out of our pistol. That would technically be an additional 40% weapon damage. So and I think that's pretty good. That's an additional 40% weapon damage. And more importantly about that 40% weapon damage is that times 5, right? Or times 4 more really. Because, wait, am I thinking about that right? Additional 40% weapon damage. How many more enemies are we getting there? 40% more weapon damage, but times 2 more. Oh, anyways, my head just got turned around in a circle there. But the point is, like, you're getting the Busy Bee is allowed if you run that chess piece, it's allowing you to mark 2 more targets. Those 2 more targets are going to give you an additional 40% weapons damage. That's right, which you can now apply to, which is now going to be applied to all 5 targets at the same time. So it is 40 times 5. So 200% more damage. So that's the way I'm looking at it. Does that make sense to you guys? Do you see what I'm saying? So if you run the chess piece, it allows you to mark 2 more targets. Now it is situational. You might not have those 2 more targets, but I think in Legendary you are. But either way, 2 more targets, that's 20% more damage per target from the Busy Bee. And so and then when you switch and focus fire on one of these targets, that means all 5 targets are taking that additional 40% weapon damage, plus the all the weapon damage from the other 3 targets too, which is 60%. So, in a total of 100% weapon damage, right? So the way I'm looking at it is like, there's no chess piece that's better than that. You know, 100% weapon damage, 200 technically. So, glass cannon, stuff like that. I don't think any of that's worth it. No downsides, except it's gonna be situational. Sometimes you might not have all those targets, but I think that's okay. Play into that, but when you do, it's gonna pay back. So, all right. So that's the idea there. So I'm thinking the chest piece. Let's get the rest over and let's create this bad boy. So I'm figuring for the most part an all red build. Okay, so while I'm bringing these pieces over, I'll mention to you what other build I'm thinking. I'm also thinking about a tip of spear build. Yeah, so I'm thinking tip of spear build. And I know some people have already been talking about tip of spear out there. But the one I'm thinking about is going to be a little bit different. I'm thinking the purpose of the tip of spear build for Legendary specifically is to try to one-shot those chungas. You think that's possible? So I think typically, like with the Nemesis and tip of spear, you can 2-shot chungas. But I think so obviously you can't have 2 exotics, so it'd be just the attack 50 here. But I think, try to so when we know that chungas are coming, what I would do is, what I would probably do is tag a bunch of targets, as many as I possibly can, right? Kind of leading up to the chunga, and then pull out my tac 50, proc it so that we're at 100% times 100% of Headhunter, with the as much extra damage we got from the busy bee, then wait for that chunga to come around the corner and pop him in the head and see if we can crack his helmet and kill him at the same time from the concussion. I don't know if it's possible, it hasn't been tested, but yeah. I would use a Virginian, but I think that would it would work against me with reloads and stuff like that. Except I love the Virginian. So I think, you know, speed, you know, we're working with 10 seconds, so it's the only reason I'm not thinking about that. I did try the Virginian with the new set though. The Umbra, it didn't work out so well. But in theory, it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Okay, let's see. Do we get the Negotiator's backpack? So we want, okay, where we're at. So we want crit chance as max as we can have it. Okay, so we are now 46, and then the handgun's 41. All right, so let's put the mods on. So definitely gonna be a play from cover build, and I'm thinking that's a good thing because of the mechanics, right? You gotta sit there and worry about marking targets. Actually, let me see if I got some good gloves here too. So I think damage to targets out of cover. Actually, damage to armor is what we want because we already got damage to targets out of cover. So I'll run the contractors here. Damage to targets out of cover would apply to more enemies, and including the chungas. So actually, maybe I'd scratch that. Just double that. Damage to targets out of cover. Thinking legendary, you know, and obviously there's lots of damage to armor targets too. But when you think about chungas and dogs, you know, damage to armor isn't going to be helpful against those and warhounds and stuff like that. So that's why we're going this way. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we still got another slot. So probably what, the coyotes? Should we run the coyotes, assuming nobody else is? If we do, I could pop down my crit chance, right? And put on more crit damage. Because we're playing with the rifle, and we know that they're going to be outside of 15 for most cases. That's how I like to roll it with. So, I mean, that's probably good. Just keep it at 53. That's fine. Yes, it's 7. That's hard to do, isn't it, huh? But I've seen that. I've never personally done it, but you have to shoot at a very particular angle, don't you? You have to like shoot up and like at this very particular angle to go to pierce both sides of the weak points. That's pretty hard to do. All right, so let's say we got Jam Cam in the house. So looks like he's gonna help us paint targets here. So you guys see the loadout, pretty easy, right? 53, 165. Now I played down my crit chance because of the Coyote's mask. So, and then the pistols at 48, 149, but the pistol's not our primary. It's just there to mark targets. And so we're gonna need decoys, I think, right? So I'm gonna put a decoy over here, and then I'll put. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put the shield. I'm gonna go shield. Now that's just for this one, but. And then I'll use the turret as a decoy. And then for the other one, let me see. Let's make sure we got this right. So take off SMGs, put on rifles. I'm gonna run gunner mostly for a little bit of ammo. But the armor on kill, if we're killing multiple enemies, that should be helpful for the heals. Otherwise, I'm thinking let me respect this element. Let's put an assault rifle in the background and the backup. The assault rifles could be good against sometimes when you just feel like clearing a stupid tank or, you know, warhound or something like that. Just go to a high speed assault rifle. So FAMAS could be good. You could do that. Or even a police M4, but let's just go and stick with the FAMAS. Hey, so I got all my new skins and I was gonna showcase them, but is anybody else noticing that some of the skins aren't working? Has anybody else noticed that? Was that just a little me? Okay, so I think we're good. You notice that, Grumpy? Yeah, and yes, it's 7, and you had to have all 3 of your guys in sync, right? So I was really excited about this skin, this Monarch skin, as you can see, and I'm applying it on my D50. I'm really excited about this skin. And if you put it on, see, it looks like it's supposed to be gold on gold, kind of like the Busy Bee a little bit, right? And it just kind of blacks out the weapon, which is also kind of cool, by the way. It's not the worst thing, but it's not the skin. And then there's the carbine isn't working, either is the ACR. It seems like it's the ones at the higher tier levels, because these were all the higher tier levels. So it's like maybe they didn't test the higher tier levels. Yeah, the shotgun, the ACS shotgun ones are pretty cool looking, by the way. If you haven't seen those yet, those are cool. Wonko the Sane, what up, Wonko? Yeah, I mean, it does suck. Let's see if I mark him. My stupid thing doesn't always. God damn it! Like my stupid thing doesn't. It's the Elite controller. Like it doesn't work well with this keyboard. Let me see. Is my settings right? Accessibility. On-screen point. See there. It's on. There it is. Okay, so you know, the skills is gonna be important, I think, because you know you really want to be unobstructed with your shooting, right? And so I got this right hand glitch is why I'm running the shield, so I can do that. The problem is it's sort of annoying to do this with the pistol. It doesn't work with the pistol, so you know, knowing that we're gonna also be using the pistol, we might change that secondary skill to like a healer or something. Okay, so. You know, because adding that mechanic, I might get tripped up on it myself. And so it might just be easier to be consistent without that. But let's give it a whirl. So I notice I got the pistol in hand. So here we go. So we're going to mark. So I think you could just spam the trigger, right? So now it's switching. Well, that was a fast. Woo. So I'm switching to pistol now. I'm switching over. Just picking on that big tanky target, right? Oof. We might need a better heal than that, but that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's actually pretty easy to work. It's pretty easy to work because, you know, you like right here, like we can spend our time to just mark, which is good because, you know, when the enemies are kind of running around, then now I got my marks, just focus on that tank and kill them all, right? Do you see those hits? Those are hitting pretty fucking hard. Switch over to the pistol. I guess make sure when you switch over to your pistol that you reload first, right? So when you go back to that M1A, I'm sorry, did I say that backwards? When you switch, make sure you reload that M1A before you switch out over back to your pistol. So that way when you switch back to your M1A, you're not on empty, wasting that 10 seconds. Ammo, we're looking good on ammo. So switching to pistol. Spamming that trigger. That's cool that they allow you to do that. Like before, if I remember right, you couldn't accidentally... Ooh. You couldn't accidentally shoot the same target twice. If you did it, like, I think I remember for PTS, I didn't actually use it in PTS, but I think it like removed the mark or something weird like that. Did it do that? Was that right? Either way, you could just spam that trigger. It's okay if you shoot the same guy once, more than once. Got a couple marks, and then when that chugga drops, I'm gonna switch out to this. Just focus on one target. Don't worry about the rest now, right? So that busy bee times out. This works, guys. It works. It's just easy. I think it makes sense. It all makes sense. It's the mechanics aren't hard. Just two things you're worried about: pistols and your rifle. You can blind fire too, even if you don't have a lot of targets. Even if you only got one or two targets, it's still 20-40% weapon damage, right? I mean, are you gonna complain about 20% weapon damage buff? You know, just what if it's just you and the boss or you and the chunga, you know? What do you think? What do you think about the M1A setup? You think that's a good match for it? So what I think it is so far, I think it's working. The reason why is because it doesn't have a lot of ammo, but by the time busy bee times out, which is 10 seconds, you know, you got to reload and switch back to the busy bee anyways. So it's sort of, you know, it handles that, I feel like. See what I'm saying? So the busy bee only lasts 10 seconds when you switch back to your primary, and that's how long it's going to take you to burn through your 20 anyways. So I try to tag as many as I can. Get my decoy out here so I can shoot more. Except I'm bad at sticking that there apparently. So obviously the weakness is, you know, using your armor kits. We got the 10% armor on kill, and it's surely not enough. You do our enemy using a lot of armor kits. I think that's an M1A thing, right? I feel like it is. I mean, I can do the shield glitch sometimes, but M1A is so fucking slow. Oh, bad angle, bad angle.
Incapacitated. Agent killed.
It's always his last two fucking guys, right? So, you know, I'm not impressed by the M1A. I'm not really, to be honest with you. It's sort of more the lucky shot. I mean, everything's, it's all kind of making sense here. Like, damn, it's mostly by like the timing, right? Like, it's just right at the size of its mag. And the concept of not having to worry about your ammo, you know? You know, my point is, like, you don't want to be in busy bee worrying about your reloads, right? I mean, look at that. Was a quick fucking clear, I gotta say. That was a good demonstration of right there. See, I forgot to reload right here. Does that make sense? Like, it doesn't feel that great. But here's a replay. But, you know, it's still really logical, I think, for this setup, because it's a mechanic that's going to take time, is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Like I would love to go to my... I mean, we'll try it. You know, we could try the assault rifle and see what we think about it too. Nothing wrong with that. So let me switch weapons and see how we feel about the assault rifle. The M1A and maybe the M1A CQB is another way to go too, because it's faster. But I think faster could be bad, right? I don't know. Like, you don't want to be. You want that reload to hit right as your busy beamer. Your busy bee times out, basically. That's when you want that reload to hit. And so that's why I kind of really like it. It really lines up. But there's other weapons that'll do that too. Get his ammo. So... Let me switch weapons here. Let me put the assault rifle in the primary, so that way we can test with this more. Also, I feel like the assault rifles are better for blind firing, so when you're in those close quarter combat situations. Also, I got fast hands on this, so the reloading, it won't be as painful. I'm busting my shield out. Actually, I can play this one deep. Come on. Switch to the rifle for this. This distance is probably better at the rifle, huh? There it is. The rifle does feel a little bit better still. More about making each. Ooh, that's nice. With rate of fire on it and close and personal. That's a good one. Good one. So yeah, the tip of spear concept for this, I think would be good. It'd be more about timing though. This is easier to use for people, for I think, for most people. Because, you know, tip of spear is about timing. It's like, okay, the chunk is going to come out soon, so load up. You know, it's going to be that kind of thing, right? And then, yeah, that must have worked. Yeah, Gary, it will feel a little clunky. A lot of us are used to switching for our pistols, so that's kind of why I'm looking. You want to simplify the mechanics. Like at first I started with a really complicated setup, and it was a fucking nightmare, I gotta say. Like when I mean complicated, I mean like I started with trying to bring this in with the bloody knuckles, and then, you know, there was just too many mechanics. These big old targets, and it's really good for legendary though, I gotta say, because all you gotta do is mark the target. I don't care if I'm applying any sort of damage, and these are some big ass fucking targets. You know what I mean? That's what's cool about legendaries. They bring you some nice juicy targets. So I'm just gonna use that juicy target right there. Watch the other ones. Oops. Watch the other ones melt. So that's the downside though, is that you see it's all gonna be about your cover choice. Because when you whip out with that's the downside about the M1A. When you come out with the M1A, that M1A causes you to use a lot of armor kits. It's always been that way, right? It's slow. It's not really good at just like pop shotting and coming out real fast. Assault rifles you can, you know. I feel like they're just, you can pop out and put out a bunch of shots. What's that sniper? If I can fucking get her. There we go. I think you don't overdo it, you know what I mean? I think you take what you can get and then move on to your real damage, you know what I mean? So don't worry about always getting 5 shots out with that gun. I mean, definitely don't worry about getting 10. Like, forget it. You know? So you don't want to use the shield glitch either, really, with the M1A, because then you're not getting your ammo back. Which I don't really need my ammo back. You know, 20 shots is enough for most 10-second engagements, but the reload could get you killed, so that's also why I'm trying to avoid it, I guess is what I'm saying. Right? So on this one, actually, let me go back to the M1A real quick. There we go. I'm gonna put my assault rifle, my turret there. So I got 3 targets marked there. Focus on one and just watch them. Typical M1A, right? Fucking sucks your armor kits. What do you think we can do about that? I mean, it sucked to weaken the build for armor on kill. But on some of these missions, it'd be really annoying. You'd be... I mean, maybe the CQB would be better, huh? Because you can go faster out of cover. Try the I think the only problem is, like, Anthony's like, I might be better off with a little bit of distance, don't you think? I mean, in here, in some of these small rooms, I could see the working, but that's the problem with the SMGs. Like, some of these missions, especially like Tidal Basin and whatever, like, the enemies they're definitely outside of 15 meters. So this will be a test of a room. What up, Rise and Reap? Let me throw in a decoy here, actually, or a healer. We could just put on a healer. That could be the fix. Because we're not using the shield. The shield's not really that good of an idea. Because you want to use your M1A in cover so you can get your ammo back. Okay. Oh my god, what the fuck? Fuck, guys came way back. Okay. Yeah. Fuck, this M1A is gonna get me killed, man. I don't have a CQB right now. I delete them. But I think it would be faster. I mean, with a 4-man team, it could be... You could survive with it, I guess, but... Yeah, Gary, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't think you try to go for 10. You know what I mean? Just be happy with you get, because a single... And they've given us a lot, right? So one marked target is 20. That's worth it. I mean, that's better than... I mean, apparently the Bloody Knuckles is amp damage, apparently. But but one marked target is 20% weapon damage. That's great, you know? So if you get 2, wow, you're at 40 already. You know what I mean? So I don't think you should sweat getting the full 10. That's gonna be so rare. But at least they gave us a possibility of... So you just get out there and spam a bunch of shots and then switch. Just whatever it is whatever it is. Like, how am I missing that target so much? Jesus Christ. This gun is not meta for me, I'll tell you what. And it's just like, it misses like so many shots. It's crazy. It does. And the sad part, what I really feel bad about is that some people are forced to use this weapon, you know? There's some people that only do raids and they make people wear this weapon even if they're not good at it, and even if it's really not that good, you know, it's just not a good weapon. I mean, it hits hard, and it's called the meta, but by who? You know, are these PC players? Is it because they have a laser mouse? You know what I mean? Like, and I understand all the reasons why, you know. Some people say, well, it's the meta because of its stability, the marker stays on track. But it still misses so many shots, it doesn't matter if it's on track to what? On track to nothing. You know what I mean? See, right here, I'm trying to hit that yellow gun, and it seems to be like fucking impossible, right? See right there, like pretty steady on my end. And that'll get you killed if you're missing shots. So even if you got this one guy, right? Like, tag him with your pistol real quick. You got nothing else to do. Especially in Legendary, when you're standing in a pool of heals, you know? DeGram, what up? DeGram, Rika. Good to see you, Rika. You know what I mean? Like, he's standing in a pool of heals, so it's cool. Like, it's just, you know, even if it's only 20% weapon damage, like, you still need it. Still need it. Oh, Seiko, I don't know, man. I'd have to be good at throwing grenades in order to get that to work. And then I'd run out of grenades, and then my weapons wouldn't be giving me any talents. Procs. Yeah, Boomerang could be cool. We could also go with like the artist tool. That would be cool too. Artist tool would work really well because it's got a fast RPM. It's more, for me, it's more accurate. And it's got a really large mag. It's got 40 in the mag. It's sort of more of a cross between the assault rifle and the rifle. So I'm not, but see, the thing is like a lot of people are like the M1A, right? So, just because I don't like it doesn't mean you don't have to, right? Like, I'm not saying it's a trash gun. It's not, of course not. Oops, I gotta use a pistol. I'm just saying, like, those are the weaknesses for me, right? It's like, and then I do have a regular M1A. So pistol. And back to M1A. Yeah, right there. It's hitting good. I mean, 2.5 million on the body. Fucking.
Serious trauma detected.
Two marks. Why wasn't that chunk of marking? I mean, apparently it wasn't critting on him. Is that the deal?
Agent down.
Or I wasn't hitting him at all, and it just looked like I was hitting at him. Yeah, so we'll pull out at the mall. We don't have to finish this thing. We'll pull out at the mall. Because I think that's what we want to try is more weapons at this stage. And of course you can't pair it up with an exotic, which really sucks, right? Let's see. Actually, let me ask. I don't know if he's on the stream. So let's do. I want to do Rosie next after this, but to White House. Then. To be honest, I could tell this works. There's no. I wouldn't. I think the rest is up to you and a little perfecting here. Oh, Gizu, are you are online? Okay. Are you running negotiators too? I agree, Nail Buddy. I think the Sledgehammer and Bloody Knuckles will be good. So I'm thinking like a Mad Bomber kind of concept, whether you actually use Mad Bomber or not, but a Costa's Go Bag maybe. Actually, I'm thinking maybe even Eclipse, to be honest with you. Because I think we riot foam them. and then, you know what I mean? Catch them on fire while the sledgehammer's in hand, you know, just fucking toast them to death. That'd be really cool. So I'm not, oh, I had the wrong talent on the whole time. How did that fucking happen? Did I not activate that? Dad, damn it. I'm sorry, guys. I was fucking, what survivalists have on it? I didn't even have rifles. Oh, my bad. I fucking thought I activated that. Oh, that's so irritating. So, okay, so we would have been getting our 10% armor on kill, and so we weren't getting any of that. And so that one maybe would have saved us a couple of armor kits. But, my bad. So one of the other things you could do is, you know, do you see how deep we were playing a lot of the times? I mean, it was definitely 15 meters, you know, and that gets more evident when you were going to go into Roosevelt Island. You're going to see that. But one of the things I'm thinking is like tip of spear, I think will be really badass with this. But I think from here, well, I'm going to save this loadout. Let me fix the talent here. Activate. I mean, sharpshooter would still work. You'd get more weapon handling for that rifle and all that, but I'd still probably run gunner, not for the ammo or anything like that, but you're gonna need that armor on kill, and so that's the only reason why I'd run that. And your teams get ammo. But I think like from there, a lot of it's gonna be just modifying based on what you want. But the concept, you know, I think between the pistol and negotiator set, I think is sound, you know. So do you run the glass cannon? Sure, go glass cannon. But your damage, technically negotiator, I see negotiators as a damage support. You could be, and you end up taking, you know, top kills anyways. But you can run obliterate if you want to, if you got a high RPM. I think it's a little bit better. You can run glass cannon. Focus, probably not. I mean, it might work. Spotter wouldn't. I mean, what talent would you run on your chest if you didn't run negotiators? You know, you could also put on your contractor's gloves, get rid of the coyote's mask. But this is help, you know, I think it's pretty standard. You could do negotiators any way you want, right? So the rest is just up to you. What rifle do you run? Again, there's the artist tool and stuff. I don't think I have the artist tool here. I'd have to go to my other character. The USC 45 stage level. I wouldn't want to use any of these sledgehammer ones. I'd add another mechanic. Trust me, don't add a mechanic to these. I've done that already, and it's complicated. Manic wouldn't be bad. You can go with the heavy assault rifle, but you want to land your shots. So you can do any assault rifle with this. You don't have to do rifle. LMGs would be too slow to reload, so I'd avoid that. Shotguns would be too distance locked. The SVD would be good though. I would totally do the SVD. Decent reload time, amazing damage, and I would even run this probably with Lucky Shot also. But you know, it's like the same thing as the M1A is a little bit more forgiving. SVD hits harder but when you hit those heads, 100 and something headshot damage. But it depends on how you load it out. M1A is a little bit easier though. But I like that bigger mag plus the faster reload. Okay, right on, Gizoo. No problem, man. So what I'm thinking here is, so this is setup one. Actually, let me go find the artist tool. I want to see if the artist tool would be like pretty fucking cool. Oh, I'm sorry, Anthony. I thought you were talking about the police little mini dealio. Let me find this artist tool. What are you guys' thoughts? So this is kind of a, oh, Blue Jedi was saying, yeah, the USC 45 too. It's not a bad idea, guys, except the damage. I think we do need to try one of these other rifles because like the enemies were dying pretty darn quickly, you know, but it was hard to tell like how much improvement I was getting. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't tell the difference. Like if I was just using that same loadout without the pistol, I feel like they'd all be dying at about the same speed anyways. You know what I mean? Negotiators clears fast just all on its own, you know? With that being said, like if we added armor on our build, would we care? Would that be a bad thing, you know? A Sleipnir could be really good. Well, it'd be kind of hard to get that timing right, but imagine that 200% or even 100% weapon damage bonus on that front when you have frenzy, right? The problem is that you have to go through a reload cycle to get it, and it'll probably take longer than 10 seconds to cycle through your mag, even with frenzy. You would only get a few shots out. So anyways, here's the rifleman. So landing headshots adds a stack of bonus, 11% weapon damage for 5 seconds. Max stacks is 6. So that could be interesting. We can bring over the regular M1A too, but I think a CQB would be good here. I think I can craft that, right? Because the CQB is just a little bit faster. And we can try it with, let's see which rifle is this one. Yeah. So we can try it with, you know, non-boomerang and see if we piss ourselves off or not. Doesn't that piss you off? I mean, don't you guys get irritated by how often you reload with the M1A? It kind of upsets me. Really bad. That one's not bad. Headshot damage. Up spammer, Tory Fool. Let me just push that one over and we'll call it good. 6716. Oh, the SIG is so good, bro. I'm still hunting for the perfect SIG. I like the CQB SIG, but SIG is a good variant. A really good rifle, guys. Also, the MK17 is really good. You guys try that thing? That's a great one. So it's like, it's right under the M1As when it comes to damage. So it goes M1A Classic, M1A CQB, and then the MK17. And so it's a great one. Just thinking about these other weapons here. Yeah. So, I mean, accuracy is going to be a thing. So just keep that in mind, guys. Like, you really want to land these shots. All right. And then do we have our snipers on board? So, Nemesis. Do we have our White Death here? Where's my White Death? Yep, there it is. And then the SVD could also be a good one to try. And then we got the Artist Tool, which is a CQB. So, except we got, it requires some headshots. And I think, you know, one of the things is that if you can just spam the shit out of that trigger, you know, that's got Ranger on it. So we can go with that one too. Okay. And I do have the USC 45, and I really like the USC 45. You know what talent I like on it? I don't know if it makes sense for this setup, but what is it? The one where you add stacks to get better accuracy and stability every shot. Steady Hands. Steady Hands is amazing on the USC 45. I'm telling you. Try Steady Hands on that thing. It's just like after about 15 shots or whatever, I mean, that thing is just a laser. And you can cycle through as many mags as possible until you get to the 100, and then it'll, you know, reload for you. It's amazing. Not disappointed by that talent on the fast rifles. Okay, yeah, so let's, so now we're just gonna go out and try. It's okay if we can do the solo too. But let's try doing this with the faster rifle and see if that makes it, if speed adds a speed over power, which might, might make a big difference, right? And so here's my USC 45. I'll take that with me. There we go. You see what I'm saying? Like speed over power, some sort of like middle ground though, you know, because you don't want to get caught in the reloads. So you really don't. So we got the M1A. Let's drop in. Actually, I'm gonna try the CQB. Actually, let's look at the CQB M1A difference. I haven't run either of them. So reload time is about the same. Power is less, RPM is higher, mag is small. Will be the same. Same mag. So it's just RPMs and more stability. So that's good. We get more stability out of it.
Agent in need of backup.
Yeah. It'd probably pan out to be better. Like, even if you drop damage, you probably would be like, I'm cool with it. Most people are cool with it anyways, right? Like, even if... See if I can get damage targets out of cover on this thing. Ranger wouldn't be bad, though. Optimus isn't bad, right? We're gonna cycle through the whole mag. What do you think about Optimus, guys? Not a good one though, because we are gonna cycle through the whole mag, so not much thinking behind Optimist. The one I have is probably the best, so I'm just gonna see if we get lucky. There's optimal with Ranger. It's not bad. Back John Wick, what up, man? Okay, I'm just gonna go with the one we have. Cool, just a test. I mean, I think the M1A CQB, a lot of people prefer this anyways over the classic nowadays. Let's see, rifles. What do we want here, guys? Breadbasket is landing body shots. That's a stack bonus of 35% headshot. I don't know. I've never really liked that personally. Optimus, strained, fast hands, Ranger, Rifleman. Landing headshots. No, we'd probably be better off. Boomerang. There we go. 50 boomerang bullet. Return to the next shot. 40%. See, if you miss that next shot, it sucks, right? If you miss that next shot, there's a good chance because you're gonna miss that next shot. So you get the bullet and the next shot goes into the air, then what? Right? You got nothing. What do you guys think? What are you better off with? Rifleman, boomerang? Some people really like boomerang. I've never really been a big fan of it. The Virginian, it makes a lot of sense because you're pretty careful on making sure you land those shots. You only got 5 rounds to deal with. Optimus would be the easiest to do here. Steady, you know. Let's try that just to do something different, and then if that sucks, we're gonna have to bounce it back to Lucky Shot. Lucky Shot makes a lot of sense on this thing, you know. Small fucking mag. So yeah, this one could take the Omega, huh? That's nice right there. That's the mod difference is really nice. You can take the Omega, that's nice. But you can't take that cool new skin, so I'm demotivated. All right, so where's our crit chance now? 53, same spot. Right on. Yeah, this one's cool. All you do is you gain more stability, like a lot more stability. That's a win. Okay, and then on this one, rifle, let's put on the artist tool. Actually, I'm gonna change the talent on the USC 45 because I think that one could be cool too. What do we want to go on this one? Preservation, Optimus, breaded basket. Strained might not be fast enough for strained. I guess boomerang could work on this one because we can just pull the shit out of that trigger. Rifleman would work too. Every time, yeah, I think when you reload, I think it refreshes that, doesn't it? Can't remember now. Ranger. Ranger's not bad for these, you know? Yeah, I know, Gizu, it's crazy. I heard that. It's a glitch though, but obviously, but anything with a bullet. Busy Bee's making skills really strong. If you guys didn't know that, it's not on the. I'll go and put boomerang for now, just so we can test different talents. So we got Rifleman, we got Optimus, and then we got Boomerang. So, but I was my secondary. Let's go ahead and try this one. I'm gonna put crit chance there. Do the same thing, crit chance, and then this one I can't take the stability mod. It's okay, it's got a lot of stability. But the big one here is look at the rounds. Like we're gonna have 40 rounds at 320 RPM. That's nice. That's nice. And that talent, you know, we're inevitably going to land in headshots, hopefully. And so that's 11% weapon damage on top of whatever. But I think the reality is like, in theory, and we should play into this, is that we're getting so much power. Let's look at the testing range because it's hard to gauge out there, right? But we should be getting so much power from this set that doesn't matter. What weapon talent? You know what I mean? Like you're getting the pistol thing. I mean, think about it. Think about it. Let's just take a look at it, right? So Optimus is going to give us at best 30% weapon damage, right? 30%. However, just marking 2 targets with the pistol is going to give us 40%, right? 40. And as you can see from that gameplay, we were using it really consistently. So 40%. You know, so you could go something defense or something weapon handling down here, like Lucky Shot, right? And not feel like you're missing out on any damage. Steady hands, whatever you want, like preservation, and feel like you're not missing out on any damage because the Busy Bee is supplementing any lost damage. So. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that on what, invulnerable elite, and let's push him at 15 meters, so we don't get too crazy with that coyote mask. Very hard here. So switch to pistol. Here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just gonna go through 5. Obviously, you can do more, but just play the average, I guess. Switching over to this one. 552. 2 million. Ooh, that fucking happened fast. We lost the Busy Bee. Okay, let's get a bunch here. Switch in. 1, 2, wow, 2.2, fuck. Get 2.4. And look at that speed, 2.8. Holy shit. That feels great. Obviously, you know, those, you got to get those headshots in, but look at that RPM and that steadiness and that RPM. Oh, it's one of my, this is like one of my very favorite rifles. It had everything. I felt like it was perfectly imbalanced. That's why I love it. I mean, that's without it, the Busy Bee stuff. And so when you reload it, it clears. You see that? So, but 40 shots. So let's get a Busy Bee and let's see how long it takes. Okay, so just one, doesn't matter, but we just want the timer. But we cycle through our mag before Busy Bee expires, just spanning the trigger. Right on time. So it takes about 10 seconds to pull through your mag at a reasonable RPM. Okay, that's good. Let's give that a whirl. And then let me get this modded out too while we're here. Crit chance. Crit chance. 20 rounds. This one's all about speed, right? And I like it too. I like it too. We spent a lot of time building USC build in the past. And again, I really liked it with steady hands. But that was without a timer. So, all right, let's go give this one a try. Yeah, I wish I had the MK17. I think I deleted mine, I guess. I don't know. I'm not seeing it around. Grumpy. That MK17 is really nice. Yeah, and I like the skin too. That baby ape skin, basically. Okay, so we're gonna start with this, and then we got a healer and this. Last time we weren't running gunner like we were supposed to be, so let's give it a whirl this time. So we're gonna start with the CQB, okay? The M&A CQB. Let's see if we like that RPM better. How did I get into a reload already? Okay, now pulling over to the M&A CQB. Oh my god.
Serious trauma detected.
We're gonna need another fucking aggro. That's the problem with the rifles solo.
Don't let anything stand in your way.
Take some heat when you get out of cover. I mean, we could slow it down, but that's the downside of this is like you got 10 seconds. I mean, I guess we could just. I'll slow it down. That guy died over there. You see that? I reload. Bro. Really? Fuck you, man. Really? That's fucking bullshit. Call bullshit on that, man. Okay.
You've got your objective. Don't let anything stand in your way.
Let's try this again. It works though. It works out. It's just you're gonna running solo. You're gonna have aggro issues, right? Ooh, you see how fast those targets got killed? Yeah, so that reload, I don't think it's worth it to. I don't know. Maybe. But. Okay, Busy Bee's down, so pulling Busy Bee out. I really like this Busy Bee. I think it's pretty cool because you could just don't worry about like critical shots or anything like that. Look at that. I mean, just mark them. Just mark them, span it, you know? Pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I'm really curious on how the other ones are going to pan out. We're not going to play this all the way through. Don't worry. We're just going to do the entrances. This reload, though. I mean, that's where Lucky Shot is really coming in handy here. Okay. Where's she fucking going? Fucking drones. Fucking drones. Reload. See that reload? Give me a target before more drones come out at me. Ah, damn it. It works though. It works though. Let's quickly try another one. The reload thing is annoying me though. You know what I'm saying? So small mag, slow reload. The reload is slow on these M1As. Are you noticing that? So it's 2.7 seconds. That's not exactly fast. All right. So this is 2.4 seconds and it's got a bigger mag. You know, so it's not as much damage, I know, but look at the RPMs too. They're the same, right? So put on a lot of shots, and you know, this one requires more headshots, but you don't have to go with perfect rifleman. You can get the same CQB, and then you know, run Optimus or even the lucky shot. So. Grumpy, what do you mean by UI? Are you talking about user interface, or what do you mean by UI? Oh, Umbra Initiative. Gotcha. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, I'm on the same page now. I'm thinking like user experience, user interface. What are we talking about? So. I mean, some of those enemies were just being deleted, though. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that was exciting to see in a team setup where you're just gonna have more aggro support. Okay, here's a rifle. Oh my god, that's frustrating, right? That's frustrating. Okay. Actually, I got an idea. So when we're not running Lucky Shot, we could run the shield. So that's good news. It's gonna slow us down a little bit, but let me swap this out straight into the headshot damage so I don't have to click in. Okay. And then let's go and put this. Actually, we should be good on crits. 48, yeah, because we're gonna get the 10% crit chance off of that. You see how deep they're playing. So this should be better. This should be better. The shield's gonna add a little mini mechanic, right? You gotta pop the shield. So, and then you're like, oh, that's nothing. I used to do it all the time. But yeah, you're adding steps to steps, right? There's steps here, right? Pistol, mark, switch, pop shield, you know. So, but it's gonna increase my survivability here because I can do this apparently, or not. Okay, so the problem is rifleman on tech, right? It sucks because you're not getting any headshots. So it's like not having any damage. See that? And then if I was using M1A, you see the difference there? Did you see that? It's nothing wrong with the talent, but like when you're shooting at the tanks, you're not getting the power buffs. So I don't know if I'd want to run a rifleman in this scenario. Let's go to the USC 4.5. Now we're running boomerang. It might be the same situation here, right? 50% chance, and then you're missing that shot. So it's just like, you know, it plays a little bit different, right? Like I don't have all the time in the world. I have to. I'm having to span the trigger, right, a little bit. Yeah, so that rifleman is a little bit harder. I might have just been having bad luck too. Who knows? But all right, Busy Bee's gone. Switching. I might have forgot to hit reload, but don't forget to reload before you switch out. You know, so I'm gonna go back and I might be in a reload situation because you don't know what's gonna happen. Come on, dude. Like when you go back to your rifle, you might be in a crunch, right? Yeah, easier. The CQB is a contender. I would like that bigger mag though, or Lucky Shot. Would be pretty unique to run this, but I'm gonna go back to the CQB real quick. I mean, look at that. If we could, okay with the switching to your pistol is not an inconvenience. It's not. It's working smoothly that way. Okay, now switching back to my rifle. And watch everybody just get deleted. Do you see how many people got deleted there? Switching to pistol. Gotta get that little fucker back there. Come on, lady, show me your head. Got her. That's cool, guys. That's cool. That's a demonstration of power. You know, I think the CQB might be the one. The USC is working good too, though. I think we might want a better talent on it than Boomerang, though. The USC felt nice. It's got a little bit more of a bounce, though. Are you noticing the difference? So, you know, steady. You might want to go steady hands with that thing. Oh, I can't wait till those chungas come out. That's gonna be fucking fun. Oh, here they come. Good. Speak of the devils. So make sure your weapon's fresh. So what do you guys think? You think we're better off with Lucky Shot? I need some opinions here because it's a tough choice. There's no hurry here, right? We just need to keep everybody marked. Let those switch over. Big, fat, juicy target. Horrible reloads. I'm not even going for the head. I'm just like body shotting this shit out. You know what I mean? Like, why go for the head and create more misses when you don't need that extra damage because you're killing so well? Okay, so Busy Bee. There it is. So USC 45. Do you see the difference? So that's the downside about the USC. I think I love this rifle, but that bounce will be unacceptable if you're comparing it to some of these other weapons. It works though. If you can deal with that. That's why I like steady hands with this thing though. I'm gonna tell you that. Steady hands with this beast is amazing. Yeah, that Busy Bee made that. Yeah, that's a cool build, guys. It just got better. Okay, so my vote so far is not the perfect rifleman talent, but the gun. Oh, there's still a sniper alive. Fuck. I thought you guys had my back. What happened? Yeah, the corner glitch is somewhat situational. Like, you know, some of these missions aren't going to give it to you. But if you can use this corner glitch, then use it. But, you know, I don't know all the zoo checkpoints in Tidal Basin enough to know if it's going to be viable in there. Yeah, but the CQB, it's just steady. You know, that's rock steady, man, right there. It's just rock steady. Way better than the M1A. Like, it is way better than the M1A. The M1A was just sort of underwhelming feeling. It just really was. But so the only downside is the reload, but that Optimus damage, I was seeing those guys get deleted with Optimus, you know? But I'm interested in trying it with Lucky Shot and seeing if it's the same, you know? The only thing with Lucky Shot is you can't use the shield glitch, right? Because you're not technically in cover. So, but the shield glitch is sort of a lot of what was adding to my survivability, because you see how they just pound on you, you know? Let's go look at some more. Oh, I can always do that. Let's go look at some more weapon talents. What do you mean, Grumpy? Are you talking about the USC 45? I like that rifle. It's a hard one to build around, but if you take your time and you learn the weapon and how it handles, you can create some amazing builds with that. Like, if you're gonna run the Fox's Prayers, anyone... Oh, you're talking about the CQB. Yeah, gotcha. Oh, yeah, that's a good call, Nail Bunny. The Dodge City holster. That's not a bad idea, the Dodge City. I'm trying to think about that. 10 seconds and, you know, you might as well get extra damage out there while you're applying it. That might be better than the Coyotes. You know, while you're marking, I hate when I do that. Sorry, guys. Let me... fast travel. I don't have the Dodge City here, but that's not a bad idea. I mean, I like the Dodge City mostly. Well, I don't know if it would work. Actually, let me think about that, because the Dodge City, it's only one shot, you know? It's only one shot, so that first target would get a lot of damage, and then the problem is that what if you miss that shot, which happens a lot. So that's why it's always used, or it's not always, but it's most often used in those heavy hitter weapons like the Regulus or the D50 or whatever, so that where you only got 6 rounds in the shot anyways, and it's sort of like a precision tactic, right? Like, okay, I gotta land this shot. But that's the most frustrating thing for me about the Dodge City holster, is it's inaccurate. I mean, the fact that, like, if you accidentally miss that shot, it's like, oh, what a fucking waste. All of that waiting for that thing, and I only had one shot and I fucking missed it, and it's on you. It's on you. You know what I mean? It really is. So you gotta land that shot. So the USC 45, I think, requires... I mean, if you compare it with the... USC 45 is good, guys. So don't dismiss the USC 45, but its stability, it needs to be dealt with, right? So, but for today, I'm gonna stay. I think I'm gonna roll to the M1A CQB. I think that one felt so good, it's undeniable. But I will bring this along, and then I'll leave that scope on there. And then I'm gonna put the stability modifier on that bad boy, and then a stability modifier there. This is gonna bring 107% more headshot damage with it. And then I'm gonna actually roll that to Lucky Shot, and that could be a really cool build too. Here. I really like the paratrooper with Lucky Shot. I do. Now it won't work with the shield, so we might hate that, but I would prefer not to run the shield if I didn't have to be honest with you. Now on the rifle, I think I'm also, the one thing that I didn't like the rifle was Optimist. So if I run it with, I'm gonna try the CQB with Lucky Shot and see if we're even gonna miss the damage. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna try that. Focus is super strong, stupid strong. I know. We'll try focus. I'm down to try focused. You know? I'm down to try focused as well. If I ran focus, I'd probably run the Negotiator's mask. Let me see if I have that chest. I love focus. It's actually one of my favorites in the game. And I have so many pristine example chest pieces. I got like 100 of them. In every color. All right, and so let's make sure we got marksman's locked in here. We don't, so let's take out this. There we go. Mark Siddell. Whoop, whoop.
You can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean.
Mark, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for supporting the channel. And therefore the entire community. You are a badass. Bandido to the Bone is a great level. So everything under the sun is what that includes. But I want you guys to know, especially Mark, that's new, and everybody that's new, and you know you're in Texas Players Club if you got that fancy little skull next to your name. You can, the easiest place to get access to all the member bonus content is on my YouTube homepage. There's a members playlist. It's the second one down. It's right at the top, really easy to find. And if you click the play all button, you can see the full list, but it's gonna show you the latest right there. So appreciate you. So Bandido to the Bone. Remember, I also get you access to the Gamer Music playlist, which you're listening to right now. This is volume 6. And so volume 7 is on the way. I'm actually working on it, hoping to get it out maybe on Sunday. And then I'm also working on a new PvP build, which is exclusive to Bandido to the Bones. So look out for that. It's going to be a pretty cool one that will irritate the hell out of your opponents. But appreciate you, Mark Seidel. Shout out to the Texas Players Club. All right, so let's try the CQB first. Now we're going to Lucky Shot. So this means I'm going to need to play it from cover. All right, so... Oh, you're going to like volume 7, Grumpy. It's going to be good, man. So I can use the decoy over here. We need decoys. And so, and remember, we got to play. We can't use the shield glitch anymore because a Lucky Shot requires you to be in cover. So, and I really, you know, with the new legendaries, I don't know if the shield glitch is going to even be possible. So we just, you know. So. You're switching? Holy shit. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm missing that Optimus too much, guys. So I'm bringing a decoy because we're going to need that constant distraction because that's the weakness here, right? Switching. Get those tanks out of our way, and then these guys become vulnerable little ducklings. Get that grenadier out of there. Oh yeah, that's never felt easier, guys. I mean, give me a big fat tank or warhound. Give me a fucking chunga. Oh, look at that. Do you see that grenade? Do you see where he launched it from? Fuck you. You know what I mean? You stupid game. He launched it from like basically the entrance of the next checkpoint, and he fucking landed it behind the trash cans where I'm hiding. Yeah. I need this fucking engineer guy. Okay. We'll just take it. So you give me those tanks. So you want these tanks. They are your best fucking friends, man. Big fucking slow targets. Yeah, I think you go Lucky Shot, man. I do. I think you don't want to worry about that reload. And Optimus, you're just going to end up with more reloads. So let's do this real quick. Easier than ever. Easier than ever. How did that fucking miss her? Fucking thing. Get that lady. We need to get that lady. We heal up real fast. For some reason, she was immune to accuracy. So. There she is. Oh, you guys are seeing that, right? Okay, so now we're patient. So let's go ahead and mark some targets. There's no hurry now. Let's get our damage and them do a nice little demonstration of power here. That guy in the back. We could tag everybody, right? Look at how many marks we got out there. Let's get that last guy. See, this is like when you load up on those marks, right? We got a lot of marks. We're almost full. All right, so let's get our decoy out. I'm gonna double decoy this. Let's get those chungas in range. Oh, yeah. That's the shit. Oh, that felt great. This guy on my right flank, though. That chunk is gonna hide, isn't he? Decoys are gonna be the key. So you want a good team that can take aggro for you, okay? So, you know, rifles. I think that's the thing with rifles. I feel like some reason they're a little bit more prone to taking damage when you pop out of cover. I don't know what you guys think about that, but a little more vulnerable. So even when it's just you and the chunga or whatever, you know, just mark him real quick with your pistol, which for some reason I can't do right now. I don't know why. There we go. Even if it's just you and him, that's still 20% damage. I'm not going to complain about that, you know? Why isn't he not shooting at my turret, though, huh? That was cool, though. Super cool. So we almost had full stacks there. So it is possible. You know what I mean? It is possible. I could see like in those legendary missions where you got range on your side and yeah, but CQB, and I'll take it into the next room here and see what we can do. It's gonna be a little bit hard without people pulling aggro for us. If I was able to use a shield glitch, then okay. And so that's fine. I think what we do in that situation is you don't use your CQB. You know, you use another weapon that allows you, or you don't care about your lucky shot, but you know, you switch to like your FAMAS, you know what I mean? And then you go in with a different skill here, which would be like a shield. Let's make sure we got ammo just in case. Fog of War, what up? No, not a lot, a little bit different. Look at the build. The chest piece, but we're gonna run more options here. Oh, really? Really? Fucking guys. Never mind, let me just die. Wow. It's pretty incredible what just happened. Well, the problem with, I mean, I don't know about Umbra here. I mean, we could try it. Yeah, I mean, we're not really quite. Here's what we found out. We played around with this pistol yesterday a little bit, and same with the bloody knuckles. Okay, so this is my advice when you're using these new weapons and exotics, is that they're adding all of them. I mean, let's put on the like all the new weapons that they gave us. This is kind of the bummer. This is the bummer side of it. Okay, so I'm gonna put them all on. So we got the Bloody Knuckles, we got the Lefty, and we got the Busy Little Bee, and even Umbra. All of these new things that they gave us added steps to killing, extra mechanics. So Umbra is you got to get in cover to stack for 5 seconds, and then you don't get your buff unless you're out of cover. So you got to pull out of cover and then shoot, right? Or else you're not getting your buffs. So that's Umbra. The pistol is you got to get your stacks and then switch weapons. The shotgun is you got to huck a grenade and then shoot your enemy, right? The Bloody Knuckles is you got to damage an enemy with a grenade or melee them, and then you can shoot your enemy, right? And then you have your damage is what I mean. So all of those things are like really tedious, and the number one feedback on all the exotics that I've seen so far is like, well, why not just shoot them and kill them instead of adding all these steps, which is taking longer and also putting your life in jeopardy, right? So that's a real problem, and we found that out last night when we were trying to run. I tried to run the Busy Bee with the Bloody Knuckles, and it's a problem. It's gonna get you killed, and I'm sure nobody else will tell you that. You know what I mean? I'm sure like all the other videos will be like, oh, let's match it up. Look, and here's the best shots that I can screen capture for you, right? So like, but the reality is it gets you killed. Like we were like, when you go up to melee something, there's a high probability that they're gonna melee you back. And so you're like, oh shit, I need tons of bonus armor to be able to do that. You know what I mean? And so you're having to sacrifice lots of damage on your build just so that you can get this 25% weapon damage, which is apparently possibly amplified damage. And it's like, wow, that's like a lot of risk. That's a lot of loss just to be able to go melee somebody. And then you got this cooldown situation that's making you double melee. I got to hit this guy twice and hope he doesn't hit me back and nobody else is shooting me in the back. It's just like, it's all like, wow, and so we created a ton of builds last night for Bloody Knuckles, and they were all failures. Hunch's Fury, Eclipse Protocol with Riot Foam, like even the Heartbreaker with massive amounts of bonus armor, all failures. Because let me tell you what the failure is. When somebody can come in and say, when you yourself can say, well, why don't I just run the Coyote's mask? Then I don't have to worry about dying because I melee them and they melee me back. Fucking valid, right? Or why don't I just wear the Coyote's mask? Then I don't have to worry about adding all of this fucking crazy bonus armor just so I can run up and punch a guy and then have to punch him again because of the cooldown. You know what I mean? It's like fucking valid point. Well, why don't I just run the Memento? Because I'm playing in kill box anyways. So at least I'm going to get bonus armor, weapon damage, and skill efficiencies, like, and extra cores and extra weapon. Valid fucking point. Agreed. And so this Bloody Knuckles is competing with so many pieces. It's competing with the Catharsis Mask. So if you run a shield, the Catharsis Mask might be better. The Coyote's Mask is going to give you 25% critical damage in that range. And this might be amp damage, which is great. Amp damage is my favorite kind of amp damage, but it's such a pain in the ass to get. You know, we're not done with it. But the Memento. So whatever build you run with the Bloody Knuckles cannot compete with the Coyote and the Memento. That means like this build would make sense because when you run the Negotiators, you're like the Negotiator's backpack is best in slot in the Negotiators. You know, you don't have to run it, but it's like really good, right? And so you're like, okay, so that means you can roll to the Bloody Knuckles, but we're not gonna, no way we can melee anybody with this. We're gonna die before we even reach the enemy, right? No way we can melee anybody. So then we're like, okay, how do we have to armor this thing up? Well, armor's not gonna do it. Because we're gonna go up, we're gonna lose all our armor on the way to melee them, and now we're gonna have to get back into cover and heal up, and we only got 20 seconds to use that melee added damage, and it's just like, you know, you see all the problems, right? So the mechanics, it's not the damage, it's the mechanics that's troublesome. And so my point is that the Busy Bee is the same thing. It's adding steps that could get you killed. And it's a secondary weapon, not a primary weapon, because you need to switch to your other weapons, right? And so if you try to put, what gloves were we wearing before? I don't even remember. Oh, that's right. We were in Negotiators. I was like, what class were we wearing? And then we had the Coyotes. And so if you put like the talent, what's that talent called? It's hardly ever used. Gunslinger. So some people might be thinking, well, like, oh, I'll put on Gunslinger, and so then when I switch to my pistol, I get 20% more weapon damage. But no. The pistol is a secondary weapon. And so we're like, okay, that's cool. So when I switch back to my primary weapon, then Gunslinger will be there also. Yeah, true. But then if you're now back to your primary weapon, then are there not better talents for your primary weapon than Gunslinger that give you more than a measly 20% weapon damage? You know, Obliterate would pass that pretty quickly. You also got Spotter, which is amplified damage. I mean, obviously that's conditional based on what you're doing, what you're wearing. And you got Glass Cannon, you got Focus, you got Obliterate, you know, all the other ones. I can't even remember all the depends on your set too, like Umbra Initiative. Probably be sticking with the Umbra Initiative. I don't know. Ridgeway's Pride, who knows, right? But remember, it's a secondary weapon, you know? It's a secondary weapon. So Gunslinger is not that great for it, but and then Versatile doesn't work at all, right? Versatile doesn't work at all there, and then you'd want shotguns and SMGs. So it's just, you know, so anyways, my point is like adding, you got to think through the mechanics because it's adding these steps, and you got to say to yourself, like, am I just better just sticking to my M1 ACQB and just shooting things until they're all dead? You know what I mean? Am I just better doing that? You know, or is it a waste of time to switch to my pistol and then, you know, no, it's not a waste of time, but can it get you killed? Absolutely, right? Because it takes time to switch to your weapons. And if you got people pressing on you, you don't have the time to switch to your weapons. But is it a waste of time? No, it's not. It's not a waste of time because the weapon swap isn't that slow. And the reward you're getting for the risk, yes, the juice is worth the squeeze. Right? Yeah, I thought the Busy Bee for the deflector build too. I did think about that also. But again, the Busy Bee, it wouldn't be adding any value. And then those enemies that you all marked might be dead by the time you switch back to your primary weapon. You see what I'm saying? Like you're going around marking everybody. And then maybe they're shooting at your deflector in theory, or especially if you're with allies, they're all shooting at those enemies too, and the deflected bullets plus your allies, maybe those enemies are dead. You finally switch back to your primary weapon to get that buff, and nobody's there to shoot anymore. You gotta, you know what I mean? I don't know though. I thought about that too, the deflector. I was thinking ongoing directive. With the ongoing directive would make a lot of sense with this. But the next one we're gonna try. Yeah, I know the skill damage thing is crazy. That hasn't showed up on their issues board yet. Like it's not an issue, it's a bug. Obviously it's a bug, but it hasn't showed up on their issues board yet. So it might be a bug that's gonna stick around for a while. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. So real quick, I'm gonna do one more test, and I'm pretty happy with the setup though. And then we're gonna get into tip of spear. Busy Bee, tip of spear. Think about that. And the question is, I would love some help from anybody that's willing to play with me on Legendary. The question is, can we one-shot a Chunga with a max Busy Bee setup? Can we tag 5 to 10 enemies? Proc Headhunter one-shot Chungas with the TAC 50? I don't know. But I would like to find out. I'd like to find out. So if anybody's down to roll with me, I'd like to help in just a few minutes. Okay, so all I'm gonna do now is we're just gonna test with the SVD loadout, all right? Everything else is gonna stay the same. So with the SVD, we're not gonna be able to use this. So no shield glitching, right? Okay. So let me just reset this real quick. Busy Bee SVD would make a lot of sense actually, because it's technically saving your ammo. You know, ammo is an issue with these things, but I'm running a Lucky Shot. But you're using ammo from your pistol to get your marks, which is kind of nice, right? And you switch out. Whoa. That was a good deletion, wasn't it? Let's get some decoys out here. Heal up. Busy Bees expired, so then we switch back over. Switch over. And then we're going to use that tank, right? Tank on. Sorry, I'm a chronic reloader, so you'll see me reloading a lot. I'm addicted to reloading. That worked. Okay, so I'm gonna reload here, fill my mag, and then I'm just gonna hold on the pistol. We're gonna use this to take aggro. Aggro will be important for all of this shit. So we can get as many marks as we can, span the trigger. Switch out. Fucking thing. Yeah. I wasn't fast enough. I think the rifle's a little bit faster, but that worked pretty good. I think if you're on a team and with a little more range, kind of sitting in the back of your team, that'll work out nicely. But let's go ahead and go back to the White House.
You've got your objective. Don't let anything stand in your way.
Yeah, Rowdy. Yeah. Radu Andre. That, yeah, he says you should try a tank build or something with protection from elites with those bloody knuckles. Maybe you will get to something. I 100% agree. So it is not that the bloody knuckles are trash. They're not. And just like what Radu is saying, so to continue that conversation, the bloody knuckles are it's a situational exotic, like the catharsis mask, right? So the catharsis mask is like, if you put it on a lot of builds, I'm not to criticize anybody's build or anything like that, but I'd probably say like it's probably not working on your build, right? Like if I watched from your perspective point of view and looked at the buff at the bottom, I'd be like it takes forever to get that 30% weapon damage. You know, even you cycle through your armor 3 or 4 times and then it finally squirts you a heal. In Legendary, it's horrible. On many builds, it's never there for you. It's not giving you heals, and it's not giving you damage. You know, so because your armor goes away before you get it, and it doesn't take very much for your armor. It doesn't take very much damage for your armor to go away, right? Now, if you're running a hefty shield build, that mask is amazing. It's amazing, right? Go run a Bulwark Foundry build, or throw the Catharsis mask. It's amazing. It's constantly cycling. On a Deflector shield build, it's amazing. You know what I mean? There's a lot of builds that it's amazing on. With the shield. Now, it is competing with the Memento. So if it's a shield killer build, then you go Memento. If it's a shield tank build, then you go Catharsis. So, I mean, that's the way I found it to be. So, it's pretty interesting, you know. But it's a situational piece. I mean, it also can work with like a lot of bonus armor and protection from elites on a Heartbreaker build. So there's some other builds outside of that, but they're all kind of the same thing. They're all kind of tanks, right? Damage resistance. And so I think that the Bloody Knuckles is down that alley too. So I think Bloody Knuckles is going to be situational, and it's going to be on this really tanky thing that can go up and hit elites and stuff like that. The annoying thing is, you know, it's got to be elites that you got to be thinking about. And I think I like what Radu is saying, that protection from elites is going to be vital for this. Like if you want to use this in heroic content, especially like control points in the open world, I mean, think about how many elites you're running. So yes, we tried this with the Sweet Dreams. Absolutely pointless, right? Because the first wave, okay, you'll have, you know, the first wave, yeah, half of those are non-elites maybe. But the second wave is pure elites, and the Sweet Dreams now becomes useless, right? So it's not a good combo with Sweet Dreams. You know, so yeah, and so you need lots of protection from elites to get to them, or lots of bonus armor, or both. And so there are going to be great builds for this, but they're going to be down to tanky. I think they're going to be down to tank side of things. And you'll see when you go out there and put on your strong build and find that the elites are punching you back. You go out there and you punch the elite and he's like, yeah, fuck you. I fuck with you.
I don't fuck with you. I don't give a fuck. I got a million trillion things I'd rather fucking do.
And then you're laying on the floor. You're the one laying on the floor, not him. So think about that. Atlas Tactical, what up, man? Yeah, Unbreakable, things like that, right? Anything tanky. So I'm not saying it's a garbage piece. It's just going to be one of those situational pieces. And like, these are the questions when you put on this piece, you cannot say on your build, the Memento would just be better. Or the Coyote Mask would just be better. The Catharsis would just be better. So your build has got to be built around these gloves, right?
You can't be any geek off the street. Got to be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean.
I don't know. Because that's the worst thing you could do for say on your build is like, oh, I'm just running these for the fun of it. I mean, that's fine. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want the best Bloody Knuckles build, you cannot say, oh, I'm just better off running the whatever, or the Bloody Knuckles are getting me killed. If the exotic that you're running is getting you killed, it's bad. We gotta change our build. It sucks, right? It sucks for me. I mean, you know. Yeah, so I think tank, and then why you're going to be a tank, but you want to kill while you're tank, and so, you know. Anyway, so we're going to come up with a build with that, but I guess this all starts with what we were talking about early. Mechanics. This thing is bringing in, sorry about that, is bringing in extra mechanics, and so's the Busy Bee. So you got to make sure when you're running the Busy Bee that you don't have other mechanics in your build that are going to slow you down even more, because it does slow your kill down, right? Time to kill and all that stuff. And the shield is one of those. So the shield, I got to say, it's just like the shield is a good thing to run because it's giving me that corner glitch on the M1ACQB, but popping the shield is a step. So you see what I'm saying? So it's like, get your stacks, switch weapons, pop your shield. That's 3 steps before I'm finally killing somebody. All right? So, you know, so the shield is really helpful, but it's good. That's one more step. You got to eliminate steps. And so any build for the Busy Bee, you have to consider that. You have to consider your steps. Because, again, those questions you ask about your build, well, wouldn't I just be better skipping the Busy Bee and skipping the shield and just sticking with my very strong M1A and shooting everything? You know what I mean? Like, absolutely. You know, it's a damn good question. Yeah, you know, I'm missing out on 200% weapon damage, but this doesn't have a weapon damage issue, does it? Does it need weapon damage fixing? Does it? And if no, then should we be running, you know, should we be running that? Let's remix it. Let's remix it. You guys ready to remix this bad boy? All right, let's do it. So let's go ahead and put on the Negotiator's mask, okay? So we're going to drop the exotic there. So we've got the Negotiator's mask. Now what we're going to do is, and I know we're going to get to the tip of spear here in a little bit, but I just figure we should probably try this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to run focus. Now I'm a little mixed feelings about focus. It is crazy strong, but are we going to get to the peak? Probably not. Well, we can. But 10 seconds, how long does it take to get to the peak? I think it is 10 seconds, isn't it? Oops. 1,002. Oh, I don't got a scope. Let's do that. I think it's 10 seconds if I remember right. I think it might even say it right there, doesn't it? Up to 60%. Yeah, it's 10 seconds, I'm pretty sure. It doesn't say that, but I'm pretty sure it is. 1,002, 1,003, 1,004, 1,005, 1,006, 1,007, 1,008, 9, 10. Yep, 10 seconds. So that's the Busy Bee buff, right? and then you switch out. So you're not using it to its maximum potential. You're getting it to its maximum potential, and then you're bailing, and then you're switching to your busy bee. But you don't have to switch to your busy bee, right? You don't have to, but you want to. You want to. But if you don't, you know, it's not the end of the world. You got marked enemies, right? So what I'm going to do here is run this with this. Yeah, I've seen people mention that for the perfect focus and the way it pans out. I don't know the math behind it, but I see people mentioning that. And then the regular focus is apparently only 40%. Is it a math computation or is it a glitch? Do you know? So Live Griff says, hi Tux, I had a drop the other day called the Babyface chest piece. I got that too. It was pretty cool. With 2 mod slots and weapon damage. That's weird. But was not in my stash when I opened it. Anyone else sees this? So I got it in the open world. It drops everywhere. I've seen people get it in legendary. I got it in the open world, killing just some random like convoy or whatever just dropped. And it was cool looking. So the babyface mask or chest piece is it's an apparel event item. So it's not, shouldn't come with any damage or anything like that, not unless they're doing something I don't know about. But it's an apparel event item, and it's cool looking. It's creepy. It's actually got baby doll heads and a Winnie the Pooh bear attached to its gun belt, its weapon belt. Accessories belt. It's fucking creepy. I got a screenshot of it and everything. I've been meaning to post it for you guys. I'll do that. But yeah, I'll get to the tip of spear build. Let's just try this real quick. But you know, I'm thinking about not running perfect focus. Should we run? Let me ask you this: should we run perfect focus with the foxes, or should we run 2-piece bellstone with the non-perfect focus? So some people don't like focus because they don't like getting in scope, right? But it's undeniably powerful. So, because if this is what I'm thinking, like, yeah, no, Grumpy. Yeah, I equipped it. Yeah, it came on like a chest piece. You're right. It wasn't a vanity, but it's supposed to be a vanity. They did give us a preview of it in the season 10 reveal. But yeah, it equips like a chest slot. And once you equip it, and then if you take it off, you can never get access to it again. It's gone. Unless maybe it drops for you again. But so you can run around with it for basically until you change your gear. At least. I'm wondering if we'd be better off with Obliterator Focus. But the good thing about Focus is that it's not just focus you're getting. You're also getting 30% more headshot damage too. So, you know. And in Legendary, going in scope is not a bad thing. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking. So what I'm also thinking about is like if we're getting 200% weapon damage, or even if we're getting like 60% weapon damage, or whatever the average is that we're pulling off of this, like, do we really need it? It's fucking crazy powerful. I mean, there's a couple of things. Like when I asked the community, which would you like to see, the best build or the strongest build? A lot of people vote for the strongest build, right? And because they want to know what is the strongest build first, and then kind of work it from there. And so that's kind of why, like, when we get a new item, starting with the basics, like, what is the best basic? You know, is the best basic Striker, Umbra, is the best basic foundry or negotiators, you know? And I feel like with the Busy Bee, I've always thought from the get-go, well, negotiators, for me, it might be the best because you have to mark targets, and that's, you might as well get that negotiators thing going, you know? That was weird. Did anybody see that? Sorry, let me reset that. Did you just see that? It took 5 marks. Okay, let me mark 1, 2. I don't have the chest piece on anymore, so I should only take 3 marks. So I'm just gonna mark a bunch of guys. Okay, switching. Focus on 1. These guys take damage. I can't happen so fast. We get a tankier thing. Shouldn't be working that way. If that was, might be mistaken though. Maybe. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I see. So some of those, one of those in a crit. Let me get that guy over there. Let me just do this. Okay, it's working like it should. It must have just looked weird from that angle. Looked like more people were dying than they should have. So you see what I'm saying? So one of the weaknesses of the setup is that, well, you know, when you take damage, you got to use your armor kit, and with rifles, you feel like you're always using your armor kit. You know what I mean? Like, especially with M1As. And so I'm wondering, like, I don't know if I have these pieces, but like a Bellstone. Or Grupo Focus could be cool too, but. Yeah, I mean, it would require a Bellstone chest to get this work, so I'll just hold on to this for now. But my point is this, I guess, is like, if we're getting all this extra damage from our pistol, which we're able to, as you can see, I think consistently use, then should we load up on defense too? Should we, you know, be doing that? Rising Reap, I got a bunch of guns for Umbra. Actually, I got a build coming for you. The fastest vector in the world, the Super 90, the Mop. Those are good Umbra setups. I tried the Virginian, it wasn't great. Tried the M870, it wasn't great. I mean, any of the assault rifles will basically all be the same greatness. Yeah, I mean, you do, right? You gotta do, not stand out in the open completely, but you gotta do this. And with these rifles, you just take a lot of damage for some reason. It's like, it's almost like when they see you with your rifle, they're like, oh, shoot that guy, you know? That's how I feel. But with focus, and we could run preservation. Could run preservation. It's gonna kick in reloads, but It's a unique situation where I'm just thinking about it here. It's also, I mean, it's a really unique to be able to wear that Negotiator's chest piece. You know what I mean? I like that option. But if we're gonna pull, yeah, I mean, it makes me wonder, like, if we're gonna bring in this more damage off of the chest piece, then, you know, some sort of survivability, but just like, where do we put it? You know what I mean? Armor, like, who cares about armor? They're just gonna take that away. You know, I hate that about armor. It's gonna take that away. Doesn't make me feel. It doesn't make me feel great to just put on armor. It's like I'm losing damage for something they could take away so easily. You know. And so the only thing I could think of is preservation. Let's give that a shot. You know, I don't think preservation multiplies, right? When you kill multiple enemies through, I think preservation is direct. I can't remember though. Well, I don't know if I've actually tried it. Has anybody tried preservation with negotiators? I don't know if I've ever tried it. Let's check. But I imagine it's the enemy that you hit with directly with your bullet. So let's just check that. So all we're checking is preservation. So we can hit 3 targets. Yeah, they're all marked, right? Or not? Okay, they are. Yeah, see how they didn't give me any armor. Now I got some. So let's see, mark. Get stronger. I did try the merciless. It was okay. It was okay. It was okay. I didn't feel wow about it, but the merciless, yeah, it pans out a little bit. I mean, the merciless could always use more crits. I think the merciless needs a special build for it, though. Okay, so let me damage myself real quick, actually. So what I mean is, like, if you're gonna bring in 100% crit damage to the merciless, you know, you might want some more armor. You see that? So those guys died, and they didn't bring me any. Well, I don't think they did. So he died. 1, 2. It's hard to tell because it happens over 5 seconds. Okay, let me try this again. Let me reset this. Sorry. Just taking a sec. Yeah, preservation works on enemies killed by crit spread. So if I go 1, 2, and then let's mark a red guy over there, okay? So then... Did he die or not? Fuck. It did. It worked. It does work. Do you see that? It's hard to tell because of the 5 seconds. Okay, let me show you that again. Because it happens over 5 seconds. So it's like, it's not instant, okay? So... I'm gonna tag just this easy to kill red guy, okay? Now this hard to kill yellow guy isn't gonna be dead yet, but watch. So is he still alive? Okay. So he died over there. And I got, apparently that's 20% of my armor back. But the guy I was just shooting at is still alive. So that armor that you see there, that little bit of red blinking stuff, came from preservation. So it did work. It does work. Let me tag this one more time. And then we'll mark this guy. Okay, so he's almost ready to die. You see that? Okay, we'll pick a fresh target here. Yeah, preservation proc. You see the symbol on the left? Hey, how cool is that? And he's a fresh target. Yeah, let's go use that. That's fucking cool. I kind of want to put the 5 pieces on now, though, right? But all right, we got a lot of damage. Let's try it again. Yeah, this will be cool. That might be all the survivability we need. So we got lots of damage, right? All the damage from here. And then we're bringing in 30x scope, and then we got preservation. So, you know, there's the reload thing, so we're going to keep that in mind. But otherwise, Busy Bee is going to bring in shit tons of damage, lots of damage. And you don't have to use this. You know, you could go obliterate too, right? Or even glass cannon, whatever you want. So.
You got your objective. Don't let anything stand in your way.
Okay, so actually, wow, you know what? Now we can use the shield thing too, because we're no longer running lucky shot. So oh, that reload is nasty though. Reloading. Little pistol. What the fuck? A tank got by. Damn it. I'm getting shot in the back flank. God damn it. And that reload is nasty. But otherwise... the tank went in the head. Nobody's coming out to play. That tank got behind me. Get out of here, tank. Fucking tank. Where'd it go? Damn, that tank is crazy. All right. It was here a second ago, wasn't it? This got me killed. Time is money. Switching to pistol. Grenade! PGB. Oh, I was too slow. Fuck, she was fast. Show me that head, lady. Drone operators. I don't know. I guess I mean, it works, but I guess I would still probably like a lucky shot. That reload, it's just noticeable. Oh, how'd she get fucking back there? Hello, scope? Got her. You see that reload? I mean, like the world's biggest delay. Yeah. Because when you're landing shots, which you hope you're doing, you know. Well, either way, when you're missing shots, I'm thinking of lucky shot here for a second, but like, God, look at that reload. I mean, too many reloads. Yeah, I think it's the only way I can run M1As is with lucky shot. I'm just not a big fan of that reload. You feel like you're punished for doing a good job. Okay, I'm landing shots and I'm just getting reloads. Everything else is on point though, I think. Fast Hands is nice. Yeah, Fast Hands is great too. I've never used it on an M1A, but I'm a big fan of it. I actually hear. I think I might be using it right here on this assault rifle. Yeah. So okay, we've seen enough. I think we've seen enough. Let me just run and kill myself while I grab this gear. Geronimo. Geronimo. Geronimo, we got it. Success. All right. And now melee him. And now he doesn't want to shoot me, does he? Now he doesn't know what to do. There it is. All right, tip of spear time. Tip of spear. Tip of spear. Tip of spear.
I don't fuck with you. I don't give a fuck. I got a million trillion things I'd rather fucking do.
That's for the haters out there.
We don't negotiate with terrorists.
Principles. You got to have principles, people. Yeah, Lucky Shot's better. Definitely stick with Lucky Shots. Everything else is cool. And so that's a pretty good, I guess basically look at it this way. Your Negotiator's build just got an upgrade. You know what I mean? Look at it that way. Just take your Negotiator build and put an upgrade. Now we're going to get into specialized. So we can get a little more specialized. What I would like to see is, so, I mean, we could do this on an Aces build or Tip of Spear build. Now I'm thinking Tip of Spear because I don't know why, but TAC 50, I guess, right? So, but I don't know which one's gonna be better. To be honest with you, I don't know. So we got Tip of Spear, headshot. Let me pull that one in. So I am gonna open up my game. So if there's anybody that's willing to help me on, okay, it's open. So if there's anybody that's willing to help me on a legendary, you know, just to test this against some chungas, that's what I would like to do. Not really creating a solo legendary build here, although I could test it that way. But what I'm thinking is to be a, ooh, that's a nice one. I want to be a chunga popper, basically. I want to try to see if we can get this to work out, where you can apply all of that extra damage to your TAC 50. And I know that'll transfer, but I mean, is it going to be enough to like really make a difference, or is just going to be one-shotting everything as usual? You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and switch over to sharpshooter. Actually, let me say this too. Where were we with this? Cool. So that'll be a great build. I'll recap that one for you in a short little build video. Don't sweat it. I will end up perfecting it offline, and then, you know, so tweaking it, adding armor, taking away armor, little stuff like that. You know, deciding if I want to go ultimately with this, testing this against Obliterate, and be like, you're not even gonna be able to tell the difference. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need it, but I don't mind the scope with legendary. I'll just put it that way. Okay, so sniper rifles, I think I'm probably going to bring in, so you can't run another exotic, so these are out, right, with the Busy Bee. So what we're going to do is bring in the White Death, and then we'll just use something else as a backup. So the White Death as my other primary, actually we can use the M1A as a backup, and then I can use the White Death here, but I'm not going to, my primary is really going to be the TAC 50, but you know how that goes, right? Like, you can't over rely on it. You still run out of ammo. So let's mark this, take that, and then, so we got rifles, marksmen, and then we're going to need a pistol. Everything else is in line, and it should be. Now we're activated. Let's not forget that step. Yeah, no, buddy, I'm still looking for a group if you're willing to play. Oh, Larry, you can't help, man. You can pump us up from afar. Yeah, cool. So yeah, I'm not worried about completing it or anything like that. So just a test lab, so no pressure. Just need people to help take aggro off of me. And the other thing would be save me some chungas, you know? So if there's anybody out there that's willing to run a riot foam build, that'd be really cool. But either way. And so actually I'm gonna run Ranger on my rifle. We will be seeing what it. I mean, this is gonna hit hard, right? Jesus. That alone, I wonder. And then probably just to go all in on the headshot damage. You can run crits if you wanted to, but simplified here. So run perfect chain killer. There we go. And then tip of spear, right? That's what we need. So I'm gonna run Tip's backpack. A Tip's backpack is actually pretty good. So increase signature weapon damage by 20% and doubles the amount of signature weapon ammo. So that's a pretty good backpack, right? And then especially, you know, I mean, it's not, what do we call our normal one that we won? Vigilance, but if you're using the TAC 50 a lot, then, you know, it's gonna be better for that, which we will be. Okay, so I'm sort of tempted to use the y'all mask. Is that crazy? Do you know why? Because if I want to be the chungas, if I want to be a chunga popper, you know, could we use that extra 10% health damage? What do you think about that? Is that silly? Headshot damage. Tip of spear. We'll put on all red cores probably. And then I could run the Sawyer's knee pads, and a Raldi would be fine, even though that doesn't really work from the. Does the Sawyer's knee pads work for the special weapon? Does anybody remember that? I won't be using an AR on the Chunga. I know the All brand sucks though. I know. But if well, actually, I mean, I could try. No, I don't have the slots for it. Right? It'd be nice to run 3 pieces Walker. We do have the Walker chest piece, but of course we can't get to that third proc there. And probably damage to target side of covers could be better than damage to health anyway. So we'll just stick with that. And then I should have a. Foxes with headshot damage already on it. I'll stick with the foxes. Yeah, I'll stick with the foxes. I'm just gonna change out the headshot damage. Oh, right on, Nail Bunny. That's perfect. So if we can, what I can try to do is it's gonna be, and so it's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be an easy task. I can just warn you guys now because it's gonna be one of those things, steps, right? Like, okay, first mark as many targets as you come. Now get your headhunter fully procced. Now wait for the Chunga, tap him. You know what I mean? And all of that has to happen inside 10 seconds. All of it does, right? And so it's gonna take a little practice. Let's put it that way. Does anybody know how much, what's the damage number to one shot in the a Chunga anyways? Anybody know what that figure is? Is it 40 million? I think it's more than 40 million. I think it's like, because I hit with 40 million all the time. Let's die like clan bros. Let's die in each other's arms. Is it easier to kill? So when I usually 2-tap the Chunga with my Nemesis. That's normally how I do it. So we got the pistol. Okay, so this is tag a bunch of guys, including this Mark. So the guys in the ceiling count? They don't count. So I think that's everybody basically, right? Okay. So now when we pull out the TAC 50, the first shot is going to activate it. Oops. Apparently that wasn't a shot. Okay. So that's going to activate it. So what do we got here? 40 million. It's not that impressive. But Headhunter's not procced, so I guess that's why. Okay, so let's see what I mean. You gotta be careful with this stuff. So this is complicated because, again, steps. So let's activate it. So we're procced. Switching over. 20 million. That can't be right. We need more ammo. And see, that's with the backpack too, where you're supposed to be getting double the ammo, but still. Oh yeah, that's a good idea, Radu. But I don't just want to break the armor. I want to kill the Chunga with a single bullet. It might not be possible at all with the with this. You can with the Nemesis, though. If you got everything... Well, there's a lot of steps to that, though. Okay, so now I'm going to switch to... Well, actually, no, we want the White Death. Let's go ahead and hit that elite. Okay, that wasn't max yet. Let's hit that one. Okay, now it is. Now I'll switch into special. Why is it saying 20 million? That can't be right. Right? There's no way. There's no way. I mean, this gun is stronger than the Nemesis. What am I missing? Did I put on the wrong chest piece? No, it's the right chest piece. I mean, if I just kill a random... Is it because he's invulnerable? Do I need to put him on elite? That doesn't make any sense, you know? Invulnerable should work. So let me kill an elite with it. So now it's procced. So if I switch over, see it's fully procced. You see that? So let's pull up this pistol, mark everything again, really quick, as fast as I can. Okay, switching back to that. Oh, I see what's fucking happening there, though. Oh, God, it's annoying. This is going to be annoying in the field. Got to figure out the steps. See, the thing isn't... Now I'm out of ammo again. We need to be full of ammo. That went really fast. I couldn't see what it was. We need more ammo. I mean, I think you can. Well, I mean, you can if you can one shot the boss and aggro, the boss aggro, right? He's stronger than a Chunga. You see, like if you can in raids, right? Raids can one shot those whatever you call type chungas at the end of Iron Hearts 4, right? They deal with the Nemesis usually, though. And a lot of sometimes is there's a negotiators involved, sometimes an Achilles pulse involved. I mean, different strategies to do it, but it'd be nice to know what the number was. And I know it's out there, I just don't remember. I'm sure somebody's told me like 10 times. So, okay, let's reset this. We need marks. Waiting for my ammo to climb here. It's got 4 shots. Okay. So, pistol U, pistol U, pistol U, pistol, 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 pistol. A lot of pistols. So, we got to activate this. This is a pain here, right here. This is where it's the steps are like, okay, so we're fully activated. Oh, I didn't even see that damage. I didn't. Okay, I recorded it though. Let me see if we can catch that on the replay. Look for the damage number. Ah, it didn't save. The hell? Was too slow? My bad. 50 million, I think, though. 57 million. It's still going. That was 57 million. 57 million. That's a lot. But that's... You know, can you make it higher? I don't know. But the problem is that you then lose... You can't go around switching a lot. You see what I'm saying? Because then you lose your headshot buff. So... You know what I'm saying, right? So let's see. So let me show you. So right now I got my headshot buff, right? And so I can one-tap elites. Cool. Do you need any more damage? No, you don't. Because why? You're one-tapping elites. Right? So if you pull out your pistol and then you tag this guy, now I switch back to my rifle. Well, luckily I'm still one-tapping elites now. Maybe that was enough damage to do that. Let's try that. Let me duff a shot. Okay, so duffing it. Let's proc. I'm gonna proc this. I'm just gonna shoot a body shot. Okay. Oh, that didn't count. The fuck? This game. Okay, so it's proc. No, let's just mark a couple guys. Okay, not a lot. And then switch to our. God damn it! Not that one. That one. Yeah, no, it's not enough. 5.8 million. Like that's weak as shit. Second shot gets the kill because you weaken him. But all of that just to, I didn't even need the damage. You know what I mean? Okay, there's 4 marks. Might be a... Yeah, 6 million. Not worth it. You know what I mean? Okay, duffing that shot. Let's pull out our TAC 50. I'm just gonna shoot somebody in the stomach here. Okay. So what is it without Busy Bee? 6 million. What? Busy Bee. 1 Busy Bee. 8 million. Okay, so maybe the Busy Bee didn't count earlier? What the fuck? 7 million. Because that was a 2 million buff. That's pretty incredible. But I guess what I'm trying to figure out is like, would I be just better off with the Aces? Aces does a really good job of killing things. It's 28 million. I don't know. Yeah, the sniper turret works with this, by the way. Okay, let me try it the other way, Grumpy. Let me see that. So we got this. I'm gonna put this on a named guy here. Something tankier. So let's do busy bee first. So 1, 2, 3. We'll just get this 4 up front, guys. Okay. And then pull out the TAC 50. And then I'm just gonna shoot in the chest to get the buff. And over here, let's hit him in the head. It's 13 million per shot. Let's kill that. See what our first shot is without busy bee now. 7 million. Yeah, almost double. That wasn't bad. Okay, it's powerful. It's powerful, but what are you gonna do with that damage? All right. What do we got here? This. Let me offload some stuff. So, Nail Bunny, if you're around, let's do it now real quick. We'll just do the beginning of the zoo. I mean, Rosie. Get rid of a couple things. Yeah, I mean, this might even be really fun for heroic. I just want to see its potential in legendary, but yeah, buddy, do I have you already on my friends list? Let me see if I can just invite you. Not sure if I do. Have we played together? No. Yeah, for some reason you're not on my friends list. Or is it just Nail Bunny 40? Find somebody here. Okay. I got a tank build I want to test too. If anybody wants to run as a full group. Ooh, there's a Nail Bunny 402 also, huh? I don't know how we're not friends. How dare we not be friends? Cool. So we'll just fight from the very early part entrance, you know, where all the dead cars are, Roosevelt Island, and just invite them in. It's gonna be hard to use a pistol with this though, at that because of the distances, right? We'll see what we can do though. 10 seconds isn't a lot for a sniper. Everything's gonna bring its little challenges, huh? You know what I mean, guys? Like 10 seconds is a lot for a sniper. I mean, sometimes it could take you 10 seconds just to acquire your target. So let me get the right skills on this thing. So, you know, I'm gonna really have to try to wait for the last second to pick them off. Switch over to that sniper at the very last second. I think it was your evil twin. Your, what is that called? Something Doppler. Forget the name of it. Doppelganger, something like that. There's a word. All right, if you're ready, I am. Let's go. We'll just hang out right here at the front. Let's get try. First, I'm just gonna try to work through the mechanics. So nothing special here, guys. We just want to see. how hard is it to acquire targets? Is it realistic to shoot an enemy at the ranges you're playing with the sniper using a pistol? You see my point? So we'll fall back, Nail Bunny, to those cars, and we'll funnel them to this little area. I'm gonna pick somebody off here though, while we can. So I'm not gonna use the pistol because it's gonna be a surprise attack, right? So there we go. Run, Nail Bunny, run! Or you're gonna want to hang it out? He's hanging it out. All right. We can hang out here. I'm cool with that. Might be better anyways. See if we can get a fucking mark. Oh, you sneaky little. That fucking splash damage is nasty. You gotta watch that shit. I got him. No, not the ammo. Yeah, let's fall back. It might be a little greasy in there. I got my decoy out. I'll actually play it up in here. So let's switch back over to the pistol. Special ammo. Got her. Drone operator down. Get a decoy. Got that. Oh, you fucking right as I pull that trigger. Jeez. Oh, yeah, it's a little slow. So I might have to change the strategy here. It's the animation. You know what I mean? It's just like this. So the thing is, like, I needed to throw out my decoy. But have you ever tried to throw out your decoy while holding the TAC 50? The animation spins, right? And it slows you down. It slows you down to do it. So let me watch. So we got the TAC 50, right? Now let's switch to our pistol. I mean, slowest weapon swap ever, right? So let's go to our pistol and then TAC 50. Which is fucking apparently hard to do. And then back to our pistol. You know, it's that how do you see how slow he puts it away? That's a pain. That's a pain. Okay, but let's give it another whirl. That's what we're working with. So the problem is, like, so what I was doing there is, like, so enemies were pressing, so I wanted to switch to my other weapon, and it took like an hour for the weapon swap. And so I was like, oh, great. All right. Let's pick off one of these guys. So basically I gotta switch weapons in order to throw my decoy. I want that medic. Goddamn medic. Give me that medic, man. Ah, she's fucking fast, man. And that medic is getting everybody up that I just killed. So annoying. And then I'm dead. Yeah. It's annoying right here. You need more decoys. Once my decoy goes down, it's like I'm fucked. Let's fall back. But it's gonna be the same thing. Like, I don't have the decoys to hold them back. So once my decoy expires, we'll get overrun. Just the two of us. So you see, I don't know if you're catching this, but with Headhunter's so strong, I'm finding the Busy Bee just an inconvenience because the TAC 50 can do everything it says it can do. Yeah, which is one shot in elite without the help of anything. Let me get these fucking things out before. Medic down. Watch this fucking grenadiers, huh? Reloading. I really like this brand set though. Are you not getting him up? What the fuck? Sitting here holding that button down. Wasting time. You know what I mean? You see, and notice how I'm not using the Busy Bee. So again, that's sort of a situation that you don't want. I mean, it's still a good backup weapon, but if I didn't have the Busy Bee, would I just be using the Nemesis? And you guys hear me say like, well, the Nemesis is pretty overpowered. You know what I mean? It can one-shot almost anything, and then two-shot the Chunga when you got everything all stacked up nicely, right? So, you know, is the Busy Bee just getting in the way? And the reason why I ask is like, are you going to be able to switch to your Busy Bee when you have your Headhunter proc? No, you're going to be sacrificing to Busy Bee. I mean, your Headhunter proc for Busy Bee, and you don't want to do that. See him running at us while on fire? I mean, so that was 31 million without the Busy Bee, and I think I'm cool with that, right? So it's still a decent backup weapon if you're gonna not run the Nemesis. But the problem is that the Mantis is really good at giving us those decoys. The Nemesis is pretty good at handling anything that's strong. So, you know, maybe the Busy Bee is more of a nuisance, you know? Got a shot on this guy. Can't quite see him. There might be a tree there. Can't see his head. It's just a fucking blob. You get up, move spots. Well, now he's dead. Doornail. So, yeah, that's my impressions on it. You know what I mean? I can already tell, like, when you're playing with the mechanic, like I'm not going to switch out of my Headhunter dealio to go into the pistol where the TAC 50 could do all the damage that I need to do. I mean, basically, that's all I needed to test. I mean, you can, but you'd sort of be like... Oh, I missed that fucking weak point. I delayed that shot. Where'd the other Warhound go? What up, Luca? Yeah, I'm still farming my explosive resistance pieces. I don't quite have. I want the max if I'm gonna do it, and I need the right. Let's go this way. R and K pieces, I guess, is what I'm looking for now. So, I got a few for a skill build, but. Cool. I'm good with that, Nail Bunny. That's all I needed to test. I appreciate it, man. I don't want to waste your time because this is going to take more thinking. I don't think it's a good matchup. Does that make sense to anybody? Do you understand what I'm saying? I'll show you in the testing range. Yeah, I mean, so, but basically the problem is this, like, it's not going to bring enough value to attack 50 sniper build specifically, and you can't run it with the exotics. The attack 50 does anything that you need it to do, basically. It's going to one-shot an elite, and there's circumstances where it won't, but it's not enough to make a deal out of it to where you're going to go and start whipping in a pistol to compensate. You just put out another shot, and you're done. You know what I mean? Just one bullet, right? Appreciate you, Nail Bunny. Thanks, man. So like, you're compensating. There we go. Let me just put this. I'll put up 15. That's fine. So I mean, with the way the set works, so we're running this tip of spear set, which is not my favorite, by the way, but it works. Is like, so because your first shot it procs it, right? But there we go, we had plenty of damage, and now we're one-shotting everything, right? So if I switch to the busy bee, I'm gonna lose that. So let's switch to the busy bee, right? Now I'm gonna shoot him in the head, and I lose my one-shot capability. Now I'm gonna switch back to my TAC 50, and will I gain any real benefit from that? No, not really, because I was one-shotting elites before that. You see what I'm saying? Before that, I was one shot in elite. So so it's gonna only be the rarest of circumstances where you need that, and that's the Chunga. And so the Chunga is like, okay, so he's really strong. I'm not gonna be able to one shot him, but I can two shot him. So yes, you can two shot a Chunga, right? And so with Headhunter, it usually requires Headhunter. I've never done it with the tip of spear. I usually use my aces build, but basically what you do is you build up your stacks, right? And then the Chunga's coming. I might not have enough stacks. The meter is not showing up, but let me get one more shot just in case. Okay, so now we got 2 shots, so that should be enough to reload. So if that's the Chunga, then one shot normally cracks his helmet. The second shot's a kill. That's normally how you kill the Chunga. Now, I don't normally use the TAC 50 for that. I normally use the Nemesis to do it, which I don't have here. So the downside is that, like, this is a really good build right here, what I'm going to show you. So I'm going to put on the Nemesis here, and then I'm going to put on like the white death. This is, yes, triple snipers. This is a great build. Okay? So, the TAC 50 is really easy to use. This can be your main sniper, and if you're not comfortable with the Nemesis, a lot of people aren't comfortable with the Nemesis. It's kind of hard, right? If you're not used to it. Once you get used to it, you get really good at it, by the way. I practiced a lot, and I finally got good at it. But, you know, if you're not gonna, you could save this just for that big ass giant Chunga, and for everything else, you could just use your White Death to do all the rest of the work. And then the TAC 50 to kick off your Headhunter, right? So use a TAC 50 to kick everything off. And then, so you got it kicked off. You see the green bar there. And then switch to whatever you want to, the Nemesis in this case. And then just have fun. And then if you lose your buff, then you can switch back to the TAC 50, but the Nemesis can maintain most. So you're just using the tip of spear to get an additional weapon damage. Now, I still like the Nemesis, the Aces. I think my Aces is a better build up, but this is great if you're going to use your TAC 50 a lot, right? You can use your TAC 50 a lot. And the TAC 50 is a great weapon, so it's not a bad thing. The TAC 50 and the Nemesis compete with each other, but the Nemesis, the TAC 50 is technically stronger. Look at 2.8 million. This is 2.2 million. That's quite a bit different, right? 2.8 and 2.2. But the Nemesis has unlimited ammo, basically. And the Nemesis doesn't get weakened on named bosses, where the TAC 50 is weaker on named enemies, right? Reduced damage against named enemies. You see that down there? It doesn't tell you how much, which is not helpful at all. So, so there's reasons why you want both, and that's one reason, right? Otherwise, you can run the Nemesis Mantis, which is even more of a utility weapon. It's actually more useful, is what I'm saying. And I don't have it here, apparently. Apparently, I don't. Oh, there it is. So, because you're going to get the decoy, same situation. Use a TAC 50 to set up your headhunter, and from there on out, you're one-shotting everything. So, and if you don't have to be worried about the chungas, if it takes an extra bullet, it's not a big deal, right? So it's sort of a vanity thing with the busy little bee. You're waiting for those perfect scenarios, and you got to be a pretty good player. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see speedrunners doing that, right? But as you can see, it was fucking tedious enough to me, like not even want to switch to that weapon, But don't be surprised if you'll see some crazy speedrun strategy where some guy's gonna carry this pistol around for like 10 minutes. And then finally step up in front of a chunga and then whip out his TAC 50 and one-shot that guy, which he didn't even do right there. And that's a name. Oh, that's because it's a named target. Get a weekend thing. But there's other builds where will work out for us. So I think an SVD Aces build would be great. As a matter of fact, I got a question. Can we one-shot this guy with... No, but the damage is still looking pretty good on that. But like, I would switch to the Busy Bee with the SVD. So I'll do that, and then pull out the TAC 50, nail somebody in the head with it, and then switch back here and see what we can do with that now. 7.6, not impressive, but higher. You like it with Technician, huh, Luca? I do think there's a lot. So anyway, so a sniper's not a. I would guess it's not gonna. It's gonna be a bummer. It's not gonna work. I'd say, but you can still do it and still make a decent backup weapon. But it's gonna suck in the sense of. It's going to block out this from being the Nemesis or the Mantis, which are pretty popular. But the White Death is good, so if you're cool with the White Death being your primary, then this is a great little backup weapon, I guess. What else are you going to run? A pistol. Actually, to be honest with you, I do run the... It would be, for me, it would be this, and let me show you why. If you're wondering, like, what else are you going to run, I'll show you why. So, and switch over to that pistol, huh? And that's why. You can't see the explosion in here, but you one shot, like, blowing everything up, right? And so that's pretty attractive. So I'd prefer that over the Busy Bee on one shot build. So okay, little value here, But there's so many other builds for this. So many other builds. We haven't even broken the surface. Ongoing directive. Yes, it's definitely going to work with ongoing directive. Tag a bunch of targets, kill them. It's easy, right? It's a give ongoing directive a big damage buff on top of those hollow points. What happens when you get hollow points in your pistol? Which that's going to happen, right? So you just need to apply status effects up front to be able to do that. But eventually, you're going to get it. So ongoing directive would make sense. Umbra initiative. Sure, if you want to add the mechanic, but why not? right? So the downside is you're adding a mechanic that you don't necessarily need because your RPM is so fast and your time to kill so fast. You're like, do I even need to bring in the pistol? No, not really. But maybe for the more difficult content, yeah. But for heroic content, probably you don't need to bring in the new pistol. You don't, right? For heroic content with Umbra Initiative, I don't think you need to bring in this pistol. It'd be like you're taking more time to tag people than you would have them killed with your Umbra Initiative build in heroic content. But maybe that's just my theory. I'd have to test it. But for legendary content, bringing in this pistol with the Umbra Initiative build, it definitely makes sense. You know, because those are long fights. They're long, drawn-out fights. So take a couple of seconds, right? Kick off the fight by just applying a bunch of stacks. Switch to your assault rifle, and then mow them all down from there, right? Or whatever your main weapon is with your Umbra build. And of course, it is artificially buffing skills, so you can run it on this in a hybrid skill build or a regular skill build. But that, you know, is I don't know how long that's gonna last. So you know, don't get too attached. It's obviously not intended to do that. What else we got out there? Hunter's Fury. Maybe, you know. Strikers, yes. Negotiators, obviously. Strikers, definitely, right? So put that on top of the amp damage, and then you might not be worried about your stacks. Yeah. And the good thing about, I mean, Strikers might even be better than Umbra because Strikers doesn't have a mechanic to it. There is a timer though. It does degrade. So anything that degrades, you're gonna have to want to be cautious with, okay? Because when you're out here tapping with your pistol, you're not maintaining those stacks, and so it's degrading on your ass. You know what I mean? So then you finally switch back to your assault rifle, and how many stacks did you lose in that time? And you have to gain it back. You know what I mean? So maybe not the end of the world. Just be cautious, you know, that when you're over here with your pistol, you're not maintaining stacks. And that's Strikers working off of that, right? Like high RPMs to maintain it. And this isn't exactly the fastest weapon in the world, but it's not bad. Let me look at our sets. But Hunter's Fury is a kind of a maybe. It's just because it's like, you're kind of putting yourself in vulnerable positions, and so, you know, playing close and personal and stuff like that. So do you really want to switch over to this pistol? You know, I guess my answer would be yeah. In some situations where you kind of force back and cover, then might as well switch to the pistol and use that downtime to just mark a few targets, get back out there, and you got all this extra damage. So yeah, but I don't think it would be as much of a feature as more of a sideshow to that build, right? Aces is going to play out just like this one, except for SVDs. So I think SVD builds with Aces and the Busy Bee is going to be a great build. So 4-piece Aces, SVD, the standard one, non-exotic, and then the Busy Bee is going to be great. Great. Really strong, actually. And then Strikers is, you know, we talked about that. But ongoing directive, I think is gonna be really cool with this. What did we miss? Did we miss any of those? Eclipse protocol only on an off meta Eclipse, which I am working on, and then a Heartbreaker. Yeah, I mean, I think Heartbreaker could work. You're not gonna get stacks, but it's just gonna be just like that Striker and Hunter's Fury concept. So, you know, when you're forced back into cover, you know, you can use this pistol. It's the good thing is with pistols, it's not that hard to hit the head. You know. You kind of tend to focus on the head with these anyways. So you can get some pulsing going and some stacking going a little bit, but you're not going to have a lot of RPMs anyways. So at least you can tag people and pulse them as you're about to get out of cover, and then get out of cover again with your assault rifle or whatever you're using, LMG, and then start killing things. So yeah, it's got a lot of potential. I mean, I think it does, because it's just not that, with some of these weapons, it's not that hard, but the special weapon, too many mechanics. But I think some people that like to create plays for some really interesting legendary moves will probably attempt that. So So Nail Bunny, anything with weapon handling on it. So the fast swaps will be basically Heartbreaker and Striker both come with weapon handling, which is faster weapon swap speed also, right? Yeah, so it's cool though. It's a great pistol. So anyways, I think that's the mission. I think Negotiate is we're gonna just work through each one of these and figure out which ones work the best, and then take off the gear sets. Now what do you got, right? What do you got without gear sets? I mean, I think a max protection from elites build on this thing would be amazing, right? Get out of cover and just stack all these elites with some fucking, peg them with some stacks, switch over to whatever your shotgun is or SMG and just run around and just fucking, you know, just wham them, right? Just like whatever it is. But protection from elites work would be really cool with this protection from elites build. All improvised. But I feel like it starts with negotiators. That, like, you know, the start here thing. I just feel like there's a natural synergy there. I think it's one, like, if you already have negotiators builds, which I'm sure you guys all do, it's not new, then start there. Upgrade your negotiators builds. How many are you using it for legendary right now? Right? Probably nobody, because probably everybody's using Umbra, and I get it. I love Umbra too. But if you do use negotiators builds, it's a good play. And that's going to make your negotiators a lot stronger, and you're going to be a good DPS support dude by doing that. I mean, imagine a negotiators and an ongoing directive and an Umbra all on the team. Those three guys, and then somebody else being some sort of heal or tank. That'd be amazing. What up, Blake? Blake Morris in the house. In the DZ, Blake, is that right? Cool, guys. I'm gonna take a break. I gotta get some din, but and then I'm gonna work on a video, and then I'm gonna try to squeeze in a late night stream tonight, probably on the Twitch side. If you're down on Twitch, if you're around, if anybody's gonna be up tonight, and on the Xbox, I need to try this tank build. Which is it showing here? Where's what I'm going to take, bro? So this one's going to be really cool. And so I'm really excited to get this build out to you guys, but I need to prove it out first. So yeah, Luca, no, I'm pretty sure it's not, man. It's supposed to be a DPS edition, you know, marked. It's supposed to transfer over, but I think they coded it into bullets. And so it's working with skills that deliver bullets, right? Like the turret, the drone, the sniper turret. But if you notice, it doesn't work with artillery or anything like that. So it's not supposed to be there. But or is it? So, but just so you guys know, there are some bugs in this game with things like that that are bugs, and they're still here, and they've been here for like years, right? Like we were just talking about, like the chatterbox transfers over to the oxidizer, your RPMs, you know. So that's one example, right? Right on, Appealing the Banana. Good to see you live too. Senor Banana, what time zone are you in, by the way? I forget. Div, I'm down to roll probably in probably about like 2 hours, maybe. In about 2 hours from now. I could just hit you up on chat before I log in, see if you're around. Oh, really? Fog of War, you have the icon? Maybe it's just an Xbox thing. Are you on Xbox? The rest of us are screwed. You got the cool icon. Oh, right on. Yeah, those crazy Thailand hours on Div. Nobody will probably be on. Cool. That'd be great. Okay, so I'll hit you guys both up, but no pressure if you're busy or whatever. So, but I want to take on one of the new ones. We don't even have to finish it or whatever. Just give it the ye old college try. But I think this, and then I want to run the tank build. And so if you guys want something damage orientated, that'd be cool. And then I'll be giving special ammo, amp damage on top of that, plus armor. So lots of armor. But oh, you're in the UK. Okay, cool. 2:30 a.m. Oh, yeah, it's serial crashing earlier today. That sucks, man. So I'm really excited for this build because people are, you know, it's always kind of a new legendary thing. So when the legendaries come out, people are like, oh, I want to use tanks. I want to use tanks because, you know, they need the help. But eventually we're all going to ditch the tanks for legendary. I know that's going to happen. You know what I mean? So in legendary, as we all get used to the legendary, and we're all going to be like, oh, this is where you hide. This is who you shoot first. And this is where you go next. We're all going to know that eventually, just like District Union and everything. And the tanks are going to go away. Like nobody hardly runs tanks for District Union, right? Or Roosevelt Island or whatever. I mean, maybe some of the newer players and you understand why, but most everybody else is running some sort of damage orientated or hybrid version of that, you know, because we've played it so long, we know it, we're comfortable with it. And so when we get a new mission like Tidal Basin Legendary, people are like, oh, okay, I'm still learning this. A tank is really helpful to help us learn, you know, kind of bite off some of that incoming damage or pick me up. Yeah, Werewolf of Odin. Yeah, for sure. I just have a hard time with the mechanical animal. I usually go with the capacitor and just stay with the capacitor. So, and the reason why is that if you switch off of the capacitor and back to the mechanical animal, then you lose your capacitor stacks. So sort of like I sort of just pick one or the other, right? And so same with mechanical animal. If you gain some skill tiers and you switch off, then you're going to lose those skill tiers. Unless it's glitching, but that's the way it's supposed to be. But it's if your build has great weapon orientated damage, then I like the mechanical animal or future perfect concept. And so we used it actually, and I really liked it. It still wasn't what I ended up using in the end, but on these hybrid status effect builds were really cool. So where I was kind of using the riot foam in there, the mechanical animal to push up those skill tiers is a really good idea. So actually, as a matter of fact, on ongoing directive with the mechanical animal is a great pairing, right? So if you use an ongoing directive and just put like a couple of skill tiers in there, and then you get some status effects out there, and as you're killing the enemies with your special ammo, you start earning more skill tiers and getting more status effects capabilities, more riot foam maybe, right? Or more stingers maybe. So mechanical animal with ongoing directive. That's why ongoing directive. I mean, how many times are we saying the words ongoing directive as we're exploring these new builds? You know what I mean? So yeah, that is a downside with ongoing directive, is that. Yeah, I'm going to go eat. I know I could talk for days about this game. God damn it, you guys. But yeah, I'm going to finish this thought. But ongoing directives, one downside is that, yeah, you're squishy, right? Like, there's no survivability besides the damage. So you need team. You need team. Or find a way by putting some armor on kill. But with this one, it's a team support one here. So lots of armor there. 1.9 million. But all right, I'm going to go get some grub, guys. I'll see you in a bit. Thanks for kicking it with me as we explored.
Tuxedo out.
Notorious.